I feel like you play and joke around a lot because Dom has said the same thing about her husband.
You don't like a sense of humor though?
A little sense of humor, like
What's a little?
it's a time and place for
What's a little?
everything. Like
What's a little?
if you're going overboard, then I'll be like, okay.
Oh, Chile. Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're talking to you guys about Married at First Sight. Yes, we're dealing with Married at First Sight, and we're talking about the latest episode. Listen, there was a lot that was going on. We had Clint with Gina situation. They played my boy Clint. They had also Kirsten with with Shaq, and she doesn't like him at all. Let's be honest, she doesn't want him. Not that she doesn't like him. Sorry, apologies. She doesn't find him attractive, and that's a big difference. She also we also have Dominique and old boy McKinley. Yeah, that's going down the pan. Apparently, he complains too much. She said, "I'm a person that's about doing it," and outside doing it, I get things done. I said, "Oh, do you not forget her?" And then we also had as well Chris and Nicole, which I think are probably going to be the only couple that survived this particular turmoil. And then Arris and Jasmine. Arris, yeah, he don't fancy his wife either. He said that he's attracted to her on a four scale. On a 4 scale, it's not much. I'll be honest with you. On a 4 scale, it really isn't much. And I feel sorry for these couples at this moment because they've been done dirty by the show. They haven't put together people who are really going to make it work. They haven't put together people who really want to be with each other. They haven't put together people who are going to be similar tastes. I don't blame the couples all the way. At some point, we're going to have to hold Married at First Sight accountable. This season has been much more of the experimentation than anything. So yeah, I don't want to blame the people. I don't want to blame the people within the show. I want to blame the actual producers. They've done them dirty in this instance. So yeah, the truth of the matter is, yeah, our percentages of keeping people married is very, very low right now. So but yeah, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. I might do a part 1, part 2. We'll see what happens. Because I think I'm going to go on to Suan's page a little bit later on as well, just have a conversation with them as well, on her adult table situation as well. So we'll definitely get some conversation flowing today. We're going to keep it nice and swift and quick. Okay, so quick responses, no dragons. We don't want people dragging the situation. Okay, we want people to be quick. We want to be incisive. We want to give your opinion. We want you to say how you feel and be straight to the point, succinct. In the meantime, guys, make sure you guys like, you share, you subscribe, you click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. Look, we want to see a great show today. So first and foremost, like this live. Okay, get the liking of this live, all right? It's a madness out here. Okay. Let's get this flowing today, boy. Baby. All right. Okay. All right, cool. Yes, Crystal, you can get the link. I see Samantha's coming. Lovely. Samantha, Angel, Aridine. How do you pronounce it? Aridine. I will see your name, but Aridine Bene. Is that how you pronounce it? I better end silent, isn't it? Aradine. Oh man, you know me, I'm killing people's names. You might have to type your phonetics. Nancy, good to see you. Onu, good to see you as well. Good to see all you guys in. Please like the live before we start, guys. I'm gonna start putting it on you. Start liking the live before we start, guys. Like that live, yeah. I appreciate the comments, but like the live. Hey Ashley, good to see you. Good to see you. Sound like church right now. Good to see you. Okay, all right. Good to see y'all. It's Ari Odni. Ariodni. We got there eventually. Ariodni. Yeah. I got there eventually. All right. Cool. So thank you, Leo girl. Appreciate you, baby. She says she liked the live as well. Make sure you guys follow Leo's thing and like the live. Let's get them likes up, guys. Like the live for me. Okay. We want to see you. Like the live for me. All right. like the live for me. I want to get them likes up before we start this show, because you see the likes, they help with the analytics, you know. So let's get them likes up, and then we'll get the show flowing. We've got 20 likes. We've got 40 people in here. Let's get the likes up before we start the show, guys. Get them likes up, baby. 21. Let's keep it going. Okay. All right. Ariodne. I've got that. Ariodne. I got you. Okay. All right. Onu, have you got do you want the link? Are you available today, Onu? Let me know if you're ready to come up today, Onu. Would love to hear your perspective as well. If you're available, bro, good to get you involved as well. Let's get the show popping, you know what I'm saying? Let's get that show going, you get me? Oh, baby. Let's get this show going. All right. All right, let's play a clip, man, and we'll get a little bit of talking going. Let's get the show going. Let's pop this up. Okay. All right, let's get the link then. Let's get this going. All right, let's play a little clip. I think let's go from the very beginning, right? Let's go from the very beginning and major talking points. Let's go to major talking points. Okay, that's not yet all. All right, cool.
So things are just moving at a comfortable pace for both of us.
Yes. I mean, I feel like you're being sarcastic.
No.
All right, let's quickly just talk about obviously these lot, because honestly, it's a madness out here. You know, Arris and Arris and Jasmine. I mean, the saddest thing about the situation with Arris and Jasmine is the fact that he knows he don't want her like that. He knows he doesn't fancy her like that. And she can feel it, but she wants to try and make it work. But he knows he doesn't fancy her. And so he's actually trying to stop her from actually getting too deep in the love and the appreciation that she has for him. He knows that she likes him on a number 12. He said it, 12 out of 10. She likes him that much. But he doesn't like her the exact same way. And she can feel that lack of affection because he doesn't want to put it on her. He keeps talking about positions and nothing's happening. Man keep talking about positions and nothing seems to happen. Yeah. So, you know, that's another story. I don't want to go too deep into it because, like I said, I want to talk less today. Let my panelists talk. If you do want to join the panel as well, guys, do let me know. We'll put the link. I'll give you the link as well. So if you do want to join the panel, let us know as well. Someone said Arris is used to sexualizing women, even if he if he was attracted to her, it would have been sexual. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm expecting that, but he's not actually following through. You know what I mean? It's just not following through. So, you know what? I think he realizes he doesn't want to. I don't know if they are having sex or not, but it's like, it's almost as if he's giving the energy. I don't want to use her. Like, I know I don't like her, but I don't want to use her. I don't want to come off the bad guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to come off as the bad guy. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird to see him in this light. You know, you say you like her, you fancy her, find her attractive, but nothing a guan. You know what I mean? Like, nothing happening with you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened with you. Yeah, so I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I don't want to get too deep into it. I've got my panelists on here. We're gonna start with a bang. Listen, if you're late today, I'm not even gonna waste time. We'll get straight into the conversations. I know the other panelists are coming, but they're gonna miss out because I'm gonna go straight in. I don't want to waste time. I want to go. You understand? I want like that. Okay, so listen, if you miss it, you miss it. All right. Let me get my panelists up as well. Let me get my first conversation going. Let's deal straight and go strong from the beginning. Okay, let's go strong from the beginning. I want to talk about Shaq and Kirsten straight from the beginning. I don't waste no time. We've got Crystal here today. Fantastic. I know the others will join us a little bit later. Yes, baby. We appreciate you, Mineral Gang. Yes, Crystal. Cheese. We like to see it. We love to see it. Only looking like he feels bad that he didn't get his. Don't worry about it, Onu. You'll get yours in due time. Let's get this conversation going. I'm gonna play a clip for you for Shaq and Kirsten before anyone says anything. Let's get a little clip of their conversation. I want to just play a little bit more of what I played earlier on, so we can just play from here.
It's too much. I do want you to be serious when it's time to be serious. Like when we're having breakfast, when we first arrived, like you're joking and playing around.
We was walking to the airport and you were struggling.
All right. Let me just say first and foremost, the body. Kirsten's body was absolutely banging. There was a clip that they should have shot, a far shot, and the body was bodying. I can see why he's discombobulated. I can see why he might be a little bit, let me hang on a little bit, because the body, if he can even access it for one day, he's done something. I'm telling you. You understand? He's done something. If he can access it for one day, whew. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we're talking about. Shaq and Kirsten, talk to me. What's your thoughts on this, Crystal? I know you was ready to go, so go for it.
Kirsten wants a little bit of a bad boy. She got a man that's educated. She got a man that, like, he speaks intelligently. And yes, he jokes around. And I get that, okay, some people's their sense of humors are different. But at the same time, girl, that conversation, that last conversation, he was actually asking, and I can see, I said, oh, he can be a little annoying, but at the same time, he was asking, so at what point? And she wasn't even trying to hear it. She was just like, I'm not talking about this anymore. I'm not talking. He was actually trying to find out, where's our middle ground? You don't like my sense of humor. You don't like all of my sense of humor. What part? You can't make me stop being funny. Like, you don't like my bald head. You don't like my sense of humor. It's always sounding that everything's negative. So he kept saying, what part is okay? Like, what can I get something here? And she wasn't giving him anything. Yeah, we know she don't like him. She said, I just like, he likes to joke around. I like the fact that he likes to dance and be fun. I like that part of him. But but you're not sexually attracted to that part of him. And he even said, I feel like it's always something with you. Is there anything you like about me? And she can't answer him because she's just not happy with him. It's bad. He's not going to find any middle ground. He's not going to find any place that Kirsten actually likes him. I'm absolutely sure that they haven't kissed or anything at all yet, except for maybe on the cheek. It's actually really sad. And Kirsten's the type that she just finds these bad guys that's not that it's only attracted to one thing, that she finds a certain amount of a guy for a certain time, but not for a long time. I'm sorry. I do see her point a little bit, that he is so educated that conversations with him can be a little, flat. But at the same time, she's got this wall up. I feel like that's the mode he goes into to try to pull down some of those bricks on that wall. And it's not going to go nowhere. I feel like there was more that I had to say, but I can't remember. So go ahead.
Thank you very much, Crystal. Strong start. Onu, talk to me. What are you saying?
You know what this Kristen Shaquille, you know who they remind me of?
What do they remind you of?
Laura and Stephen Urkel from Family Matters, like the early part of the season. Like, I feel like Shaquille is doing everything possible to get this girl to just notice her and like her. And it's just like, doesn't matter what he does, he's not gonna move a brick until he changes to what she wants, and then she matures exactly what she wants out of a man, that you're not going to see any progress in relationship. And I'm at the point where I'm just like, you have to let this go, because I'm seeing Shaquille pick it up on the signs. Like, you're not telling me if you like me or not. And you're hearing the corniest and jokings and things going on. That happens when a guy likes a girl and they're trying to feel them out. They don't know what to say or how to act, and everything comes out as nervous as energy. And you don't know how to pick up on it. And most women, when they see nervous energy, it's like, okay, like this, it doesn't translate into attraction. It translates to, get away from that type of person. And that's how Shaquille is coming off right now. He's like, he likes this person, but doesn't know how to showcase that, because, hey, first thing is, he hasn't heard that that she likes him. Kristen hasn't heard he likes him too. Everything about him is a turn off. So unless he grows dreads, I don't know, goes on the block and like start putting some weight, I don't know, calls out her name. Like, I don't see what's going to happen for Kristen to say in 7.5 weeks, I really like this guy. Because again, from day one, that's been the issue. The goalpost is moving around, and it kind of reminds me back to the Boston season. The guy, I forget the name, the guy with the multiple with the girl roommate, whatever. It's like it's the point where he doesn't know how to approach a conversation and talk to her, and that's what you're having right now. When I'm seeing the same exact thing replayed in 2023 now. This guy's not, he's not threatening. It's just not her type of, he's not her type of flavor. He doesn't know how to back off. The nervous energy is kind of getting, it's going to get worse than it gets any better unless he figures out exactly what she wants him to do, and two, she figures out what's from him. Things are not going to improve.
I totally hear you. You know, Kirsten said the bar led. She can't get over the bar led. So it's tight right now. See, what's your thoughts? Shaq and the Kirstens. She said that his humor is annoying. Well, she said there's a time and place for the humor, which is fair.
So I thought a lot about this, right? Like, I'm like, let me try to be fair to Kirsten. I do think that most women who are married or in a serious relationship try to change their man to some degree, right? I think a lot of women do the molding situation. I'm guilty of it. I just think that's a woman thing. You try to like mold your man, but not push too hard. It's a delicate balance. I think there's a few things that are going wrong here. It's been like 3 days, and everything that she's seen, she's commenting on. Like, it's not enough time to be like, I don't like your bald head. I don't like the fact that you play too much. I don't like this. I don't like that. Like, she needs to use her discernment about when and where she needs to comment on things. And I think it's too much too soon. I think that's the problem. On top of the fact that I don't think she likes him, but a part of me feels like she deals with everyone like this. I do believe that she doesn't like him in particular, but she seems like a person that will just be pointing out things with everyone, and including Shaq. So I think she needs to not pick on every little thing, because he may be playing a lot now because he's nervous or this or that, but when they get back in the real world, that may not even be an issue. You know, you really have to pick and choose about things that you feel like you need to, bring up. So that's kind of, my opinion. I was interested that he finally got a backbone and stood up to her. But like most men who know how to be in a relationship, or know how to at least keep whatever this charade of a relationship is, he had to back down, because most men know, at some point, if you want to have peace, you need to fall back. So I want to give him 2 points for that, because although I kind of wanted him to stick it to her just a little bit more, he did what he really had to do, not what I really wanted him to do, but he did what he had to do for peace. Shaq gets 2 points for that. I'm gonna give him that. But yeah, she needs to learn how to pick and choose her battles, and that's something that all newly married people need to figure out. Everything cannot be a battle. Yeah, so that's what I got with this.
Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I'm glad they finally had the conversation, and he, stood up for himself to an extent, and that he's showing that he has, I don't know the right word to say, but that he has an ability to speak for himself. And that he also has some level of self-awareness in realizing that she has clearly nitpicked him right on to death. And I think, like, at a certain point, she just, it's always something. And I think that's her way of not letting him get too close. So she gonna always let him know that he really doesn't have a shot with her. But then she's gonna pretend, she's gonna hold his hand, she's gonna be nice enough, but she is the woman version of a nice guy, right? So she's a nice woman. She's never really gonna say anything that is overtly rude and mean, like some of the people in Mass we've seen, in the past, that are very jarring. But it still drives the same point home that she's not interested in him. So that's what I think. And again, I don't think that if whether it's a man or whether it's a woman, if they're not attracted, they shouldn't have to force it. But I also know that you know how to treat people like humans, and you know when you should have a level of self-awareness, especially if you're going into a marriage where you're not perfect and you are going to give that person some breathing room, like you're just getting to know them. You're just getting to know them. How much can you say within meeting somebody within 3 days that you know that you don't like about them? That's just not, it doesn't feel good to anybody. So yeah, and then she's gonna turn around and say, hey, maybe there's some things about me you don't like. Huh? Yeah, are you ready to have that conversation? No, she's not. And no, she doesn't want to hear it. She called him defensive. Yeah, imagine somebody telling you how much they don't like you, telling you that telling people that you should ask for a kiss. Then when you do, they shut you down. So how much do you want this guy to take? So yeah, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And she's just making that wedge deeper and deeper. It's like a pothole. You know, it starts really small and then it just expands and expands and it just creates distance between the two of them. So all there'll be is BFFs talking about the other couples and talking about everything but them and their connection and their chemistry, which will never happen.
Yeah, I think, with Kirsten, I think she had every right to say maybe about the timing of jokes. Jokes sometimes, she didn't say she didn't like his humor. She said she didn't like the timing of the humor, right? And then they played a clip of him like joking around when she wanted them to carry the bags, which again, I mean, as long as I don't know if he actually helped her with the bags in the end. Hopefully he did. If not, yeah, you're going to get yourself in the doghouse for that. Like watching your girl struggle with bags ain't ever going to be a win on anybody's books. So I think I totally get that. I totally understand that. I think the biggest thing here though is, with Kirsten is she moves the goalposts, and I think that's the unfortunate aspect, which is you will, and I think that's what he mentioned with saying, I don't even know whether I'm doing good or bad. It's because the goalposts are going to completely shift every single time you're about to achieve. This girl knows how to war. She's warring in a way that doesn't get her found out on the media front in terms of the audience. And she does it in a particular way where we look at her and she goes, you can see at points, for instance, when they're in the group, how she's holding his hand. It's like, oh, like she's holding his hand and she's really affectionate. Like, surely she can't not like this dude. Unfortunately, the audience has grown wise. We're 16 seasons in and everybody can see it. Baby, you can't pretend. So, in the early seasons of Married at First Sight, we'd have been confused. Would have been a little bit discombobulated, and probably our panel would have been fighting against man and women. But baby, we're in season 16. We can all see that holding a hand ain't buying no time for you, babe, right? And so I think, we saw the moving of goalposts when they said about the whole kiss situation. How said, oh, I wanted him to tell me to kiss me and he wanted to kiss, and that didn't happen. We found out on After Party that actually, when the camera stopped rolling, she don't want him to touch him, right? She doesn't want him to touch her. So all of this act on our screen is for the birds and the bees. It's not for us. It's for you to put a persona up. So so I understood about the laughing thing, but I was like, yeah, it sounded a bit like, you know what? I'm gonna critique you till you die. Okay, so I'm gonna critique you to a point where you're gonna say, I can't take it no more. I don't want to be in this relationship. Oh, well, don't in a relationship. Well, I guess there it is. Shaq, you don't have a relationship. I mean, I tried. I tried. I mean, but you didn't want to, you didn't match up. You didn't do what I was supposed to do. I mean, I told you what I needed and you didn't do it. So I guess we gotta break up. I guess this ain't gonna work. And she's very clever in trying to pull that out, to get Shaq to that position. But, Shaq has from the beginning, liked her, found her attractive. He's tried to put the effort in and the energy in, but she doesn't fancy him the same way. And ladies, I'm sure you already know, and if you're honest with yourselves, when y'all don't fancy that goon, okay, y'all be criticizing everything he do. It'd be annoying for him to breathe. He breathes is annoying. He walks is annoying. He opens his mouth is annoying. The way even eating his food, it's gonna annoy you. The way he even holds a fork, you're like, the way he even holds a fork is annoying. Like, everything becomes annoying. So I'm not surprised that Kirsten is actually doing this as well, because she's getting the ick, and the ick, when it hits you, everything that person does is so annoying. So I mean, I understand where she's coming from. She just needs to be honest with herself and stop putting on a persona. Baby, you don't like him, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That's why you keep mentioning his bald head every time you can get a chance. I'm surprised he didn't turn around and do pull a Gina and tell him that, you know, it's offensive that, you know, she kept mentioning the bald head. So yeah. Any other thoughts on Shaq and Kirsten? Any other thoughts on Shaq and Kirsten? Go for it, Crystal, and then I'll get JR in.
I stepped away for a second. Did we talk about Shaq blowing up what's his name spot? Arris?
Well, Arris's. No, we didn't. Go for it.
Did we talk about the fact that he's like, oh well, you know, I met with the guys, and first he was like, well, do you think that what's his name? Clint was really trying to insult her, and so that was the first ick that she got, because she got annoyed that he didn't agree that Clint shouldn't have said that. And then he said, well, he told us that he was like a 4 or 5. I was like, what? One, I don't like Arris, and we'll get into Arris in a second, but Shaq, are you? And I was like, oh, you are kind of being you're just talking. I don't want to say what I was really thinking. Like, that's kind of a B move. Like, why would you do that? That's none of your business. That wasn't your conversation to have. That wasn't your conversation to have. So I really thought of him like old boy from a couple seasons ago. So yeah, that was not cool. That's it.
Thank you, JR. Go for it.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I definitely agree with the nitpicking to death component, because I'll tell you what, right? She's done something that I think is very strategic, and it sets the tone for how she's going to carry on the relationship. She basically said that, you know, she asked him if he's open to criticism. And that flared up again this episode, right? So when he said, yeah, I'm cool with being criticized, like, I can take it, like, you know. So what she's then going to do is start criticizing him. Then anytime he has a problem with what she's saying, or he starts to take it personally, then she can say, oh, but I thought you can handle criticism, you know. So let's look at it. She's not attracted to him being bald, like she said, right? She also said, stop acting perfect. Stop trying to be perfect for me. Just be yourself. Stop trying to act like, you know, there's no problems here. All right. So that was last episode, or I think the episode before. And now, like you said, she's got a problem with his sense of humor. Okay. She said the timing of the jokes, but she also said that he jokes too much. Now, for someone that feels like they're not attracted to the person, or has been told that they're not attracted, guess what they're going to try and do? They're going to try and use other things, other aspects of their personality to get across. So they're going to say, yeah, you know, they're going to start trying to make lighthearted jokes to break the ice, or see if they can get on the person's good side and not be scolded or told off all the time by making jokes. All right. So I think it's kind of a situation where he's going to be walking on eggshells very soon, because he's already showed signs of frustration. If I tell too many jokes, then you're going to have a problem. If I act serious, then you might have a problem with the way I'm speaking to you. You might say that I'm mansplaining or talking down to you or trying to father you, which he said before as well. So it's pretty evident that because she doesn't like him, she's now trying to stack up things against him to constantly try and chastise him for things. And obviously that's not going to end well. That to me tells me that she's not ready to in any way, shape or form give it a try and try and make it work, because she's breaking him down. She started that process, and she's not going to stop once she starts, because she's not going to be attracted to him. The only thing that could turn it around is she miraculously somehow you know, found him attractive in the way that he finds her attractive. Like it's a mutual like a match, right? I don't see it happening. And it must be quite frustrating knowing that he likes her a lot, but she's always critiquing him and bringing up things to say. And that might also be a problem. And he might start to voice that a bit more too.
Appreciate it, JR. Appreciate you. Before I get Trey to go, shout out Healing for All with a $10 super chat. Really appreciate you. Thank you very much supporting the brand. Yes, Trey, talk to me, man. What are you saying? Because you're a new lover of Kirsten now. So tell me, what's your thoughts?
No, I mean she's fine though. She's fine, but it's weird. I'm beginning to. I don't want to come off judgmental when I say this, but it's weird that I'm beginning to see why she might not be in a long-term relationship or have not had long-term relationships. She's been too critical and judgmental of people around her, period. You just see it in her actions. It's not like, for instance, like Clint, he just says what's on his mind, no filter, when he should think before he speaks. She thinks before she speaks, but she sees people around her. I hate to say it, but she might see people around her as beneath her in some way, shape, or form. And it's coming off. And she doesn't want it to come off. She wants to come off, I think, like Sean said, as the good girl, the nice girl. I'm sweet, I'm nice, look at me, love me. Because she wants that attention. She needs that attention. But she's probably a mean girl at heart. The thing that was funny to me, it shocked me, was how after the men's little powwow get together, Shaq all of a sudden grew a pair. He was talking real slick. I was like, whoa, where this come from? Wait a minute. Had a little get together with the fellas. Now you from, yeah, let's talk about it. I ain't gonna lie, it was a little good. I was like, yeah, you need to speak up, bro, because this is getting crazy now. She making you look like a fool. Say something, something. But, I don't think you could tell he was trying to get to some answers, but she was hitting him with a few things that probably hit too hard on him personally. Him joking around all the time. I think that struck a little more of a chord than he was prepared to receive. He was like, oh, wait, what you mean? Everyone likes to have fun and be funny. Like, I'm a humorous person. I might look at you funny, like, what? What do you mean? Oh, you mean you want me to curtail my sense of humor because you don't have one? Okay. Really? Interesting. Okay. Nah, it's really interesting. The more you see of her, I think we got him pretty pegged. I ain't gonna lie, he did dry snitch on Arris. I was like, bro, I know that's not your dude. Y'all just met a couple months ago. You ain't got no loyalty to him, but why? Why would you tell?
Was it a dry snitch though, Trey? I think that was.
Yeah, he just straight told it. I was like, I was just looking at him like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you straight gossiping. Like, y'all done did this before. Like, this is, y'all done, yeah. Probably one of the reasons why she's looking at you a little funny, because you're acting a little funny. What are you doing? You gossiping hard. Like, ooh, girl, let me tell you. Ooh, let me tell you what he said. Like, I was like, bro, that's no, don't do that. Yeah, he just fell right into it, and she did too, because obviously they've been talking like that. It was obvious. I was like, oh boy. So now this is going to cause more drama, because that's going to get back to Arris. So it's like, okay, why?
That's exactly what I was going to say. She gonna run tell that.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, well, somebody said something. Obviously, the fellas. You could tell the rest of the dudes are like, nah, what goes on here? We talking as men that stays here. We're trying to help each other out. And for the most part, the women too. But because, it was like, bro, what are you doing? I was on your side until you just, no.
Went left.
Just no. All the way in left field. just standing out there. I'm like, bro, don't do this. It was,
I hear
yeah.
that.
He told me a lot about himself in that
Mhm.
moment, a lot, and it wasn't good.
Appreciate Trey. So who else had an opinion on the on the snitching, the dry snitching that happened? You know, like who else had an opinion on dry snitching? Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I was gonna say, listen, the poor guy is just trying every avenue to connect with her. So he figures, like, let me give her some information and maybe that will perk her ears, but it backfired. You could see, like, she just looked disgusted and annoyed with him. And then she was like, well, why is he lying? And then we start going down a rabbit hole of other people's relationships and who's not telling what. And then she circled back around to say, and that's why I told you I don't like your boy. She's always gonna, all roads lead to I'm not attracted to you. So there's nothing he could do. And I would say, word of advice for any guy, like, look, if you're trying to get to know a woman or build a connection, don't be her friend. Not like that. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to get to her level and give her information, because you're just gonna ruin it. You're gonna turn her into a, I don't want to speak for women, but I feel like that's just going to turn the situation into a Sahara desert. So build the friendship first, and then y'all can talk, because guys, we're going to talk about things too. We got opinions. We might have some information. We want to do a little pillow talk, but if you ain't got to the pillow, don't do the pillow talk. You know what I'm saying? The pillow talk got to come after the pillow, but not before the pillow. So you're going to ruin getting to the pillow.
That's what I'm saying, Sean. Remember Bree and Vincent? They had already got to the pillow. They had already gotten the connection. So they could gossip about Paige and Chris, because they were already, that just made them more connected. But girl, this girl don't want him. She don't want you. Stop trying to make connection happen. It's not gonna do it.
And like Seaway always says, she was right. This girl been playing in his face, and he trying to patty cake with her. No, don't patty cake with this girl. This is not the girl to play patty cake with. Not the one.
And the thing is, Kirsten is Arris in this situation. Like, Arris isn't attracted to Jasmine. All right, he only ranked her as a 4 out of 10. And I think he's put off by the pageant. She, like he even mentioned, she's beautiful by most people's standards because she's entered the pageants and stuff, but he's just still not attracted. And similar with Kirsten and Shaq. Like, there's nothing like obvious on Shaq's physical appearance that is necessarily off-putting, but because she emphasizes the bald head and the beard and all the other stuff that she was coming out with before, she's already set her mind to him being busted, and it's not right for her to try and gaslight him and give him some false hope. Like, when they were in that hammock chair or whatever it was, you see how up close they were, intimate. Like, she was staring, cleaning the side of his face, and he's looking forward, and they're just talking and whatever. I thought they were going to kiss right there. If conditions were right, that would have been the perfect opportunity for that to happen. But no, she was just speaking her dislikes into his ears at close range, like point blank range. So yeah, I think even though she may have been offended about him, I think he was trying to use a comparison to say, look, Arris isn't necessarily attracted to Jasmine, but they're trying to make it work. That's the angle I think he was coming with, rather than trying to say, oh, look, I got some tea for you. Man, Arris said, I don't think it was any of that. I think it was more like, look, there's couples here that ain't attracted to each other, but they're trying to make it work. And from what I see from Kirsten, you're trying to make it difficult. You're not even trying to make it work no more. You're trying to shoot holes into me and pick me apart. And that's not going to get us to the result at decision day. Like, what you're doing is counterproductive. What are you really doing? That's what I think he's going to be leaning towards saying.
Siwe, what's your thoughts? Chatty patty? Too much?
I mean, was he being a chatty patty? Yes, but I think it was more so him trying to connect. But it's kind of hard for me to break down what he's doing, like for me to like get all invested in it, because I'm kind of a realist and I don't think it matters. Like he could have been a chatty patty. He could not be a chatty patty. He could say everything right. He could say everything wrong. I just don't think it matters. I think she is not into him and she's just being polite because she doesn't want to be what's that girl name that y'all guys vilified for no reason in my book? What the white girl who was with the old man. Like she doesn't want
He
you
was not an old man. You're talking about Jacob and what's her name? Hannah, Heather, whatever her name is.
whatever her name was.
Haley.
He wasn't that old by age, but he
Haley.
acted Haley, right. But he acted very, very old, compounded with how old he actually was and how old she was. It was a problem. They never should have been matched. But she doesn't want to be Haley. Like she don't want y'all talking about her like Haley. So she's being fake. I just feel like it's darn if you do, darn if you don't. She be fake and pick him apart. She wrong. If she don't participate like Brett, she's wrong. If she's honest, she's wrong. If she's quiet, she's wrong. I ain't saying what she's doing is right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I just don't think there's a perfect way to navigate this situation. And I think Arris, for all of his hood nonsensical, him forgetting he's on TV ways, I think he's trying to go about it a more delicate way. And even he got aired out as a stray. He got hit with a stray with this whole conversation. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
But his boy took him out. His boy was in a safe space.
But there is a safe way to do it. Be real about it. They're not being real about it. All these people you named, we can tell that they don't like these people, yet they're faking the funk like, oh, you know, maybe things have changed. No, we can clearly see you don't like this man, yet you're trying to make us believe that this man still has a chance. That's whack. You know, one thing I'll say about Haley, I didn't like her, but at least she didn't try to fake the funk too much. You know, she pretty much told that dude, nah, it wasn't it. And so we just stayed with the back and forth with them the whole season. Okay, so why y'all just sitting here? Well, that's what Jacob did. Why are we here then? You know, if it ain't it, just be it. That's what we got Haley, like you dragging this along for no reason. You already told we know you don't like this guy. You pretty much said you like this guy like that, but you're just trying to remain friends with him or be on a good term. He ain't gonna feel that. He know you don't like him. You almost despise him. Why are you trying to be friends with me? It's fake. No, just be real from the start, and things go a lot smoother.
Wait, before you go to it, Crystal was waiting. Sorry, Crystal was waiting for the last two. So then you can go after.
Something JR just said earlier, I do think that they've kind of switched places, that Arris and what's her name, Kirsten, have switched places in their relationship, and her thinking that I do think that it's this ick is going to keep going and keep going. First, it's the bald head, and she doesn't like the way he talks to her. What did he when he tries to speak intelligently? What are you, Martin Luther King? When he tries to be funny, there's a time and place for everything. Next, she's not gonna like his birthmark, and next, she's not gonna like the scar on his head. Like, you know, there's gonna be something every time, and you don't like him. And she's like, well, why can't we be real? You haven't been real at all, you know. And he's actually said, like you said, someone said earlier, I'm glad he got some, you know, something behind him, got some backbone and said something. I feel like I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. He didn't say those words, but he said, I'm not, you don't like me, you know. First is now it's my sense of humor. First is my bald head. Like, what do you, and he actually was trying to ask her, this is what I was trying to say earlier. What is it? What, give me some pointers. Like, okay, what do you like? What part of my sense of humor don't you like? What was it? You know, he was trying to say, and she was like, well, can you not interrupt me? But then you really didn't answer the question. And I get that she was getting annoyed by the conversation or how he was dealing with the because he was getting defensive. But I think he's been frustrated this whole week. Like, she's got all these walls up, so now he's getting frustrated, and she is not answering the question. So now they've hit a brick wall, and she's gonna find something else not to like about him. I do think that she's the type of woman that she doesn't like a guy that likes her. She wants a guy not to, she wants that guy to be kind of standoffish, kind of, pulled back, and she wants to like fight a little harder. And she doesn't have to fight with Shaq. Shaq was just all in from the minute she walked down that aisle, and she wants that kind of a rougher kind of exterior, and she didn't get that with Shaq. And so now she feels like she can manipulate him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go for it, Siwe. Thank you, Crystal.
I was just gonna say, I think we think that people have made up their mind, but not everyone has made up their mind about if they can work with the situation or not. Do I think that Jasmine has made up her mind with Shaq? I do. I do think that she's one of those people who probably could just call it now. I don't think it's going to change. But I do think Arris is trying to unpack why his unattract, what is it? Non-attraction? I don't know what the word, but he's trying to break that down in his head. He's trying to figure out, is it because she turned me down? Is it because of her body type? Is it because of her looks? What is it that I'm really not attracted to? And I think he's really not at a point where he knows. So I think honestly, that's where Haley got to as well. Once after she slept with the man and she was done with him, then she knew. But I think sometimes you try to figure out, like, can you keep working with the situation, before you just rule it out? Lack of attraction. Thank you. My brain. I was like, what is the phrase? But yeah, I do think Jennifer, what's her name? Jasmine is done. I don't think there's nothing that Shaq could do, and she should just, rip the Band-Aid off.
Kirsten.
Is it Kirsten?
Kirsten.
Jasmine's the other one.
Yeah.
Kirsten.
Yeah.
I'm all off. Y'all know who I was
That's
talking
what
about, though.
We know. Go for it, Anu.
But here's the issue with this. At least Haley did try. That's the sad thing. At least she tried with the clothes. I think she tried with like the picnic. There's instances where she tried to connect, but wasn't going to happen. With Kristen, she's been done since before the honeymoon. She was done before they said I do. And that's the issue. I don't know how you go from I'm not interested from the first day to now it's like, okay, I don't like this guy, to like, okay, maybe I'll give him a chance. It's like you moving the goalposts. It's like, I don't know what it is that you want. Like I'm glad he grew a backbone, but if he becomes quiet and doesn't say much, what are you going to do then? And to me, I see that more happening than him having this huge backbone and standing up to this girl next couple weeks.
I wish y'all would leave Haley back in Texas or whatever state they're from, because she was rude as hell.
Not defending.
I will concede to, yes, she did try. She certainly did. But everything after that is why I think Haley gets smoke, is because she was rude. She was rude and she was mean. And none of it had to do with the fact that she didn't like Jacob anymore. It was how she treated him and how nasty she was, and the whole thing with the bracelet and being rude. That's my thing, and thinking she's better than him. And it's not about, like, you don't have to be condescending and nasty just because you're not attracted to somebody. It's okay. You can still be a nice, decent person. And I think people in the MAPS process come off bratty when they expect to come to Married at First Sight and think that they're going to get the person of their dreams. Like she literally thought she was going to get, I don't know who, fill in the blanks. I don't know if she wanted Michael B. Jordan. I don't know what her type is. But look, lady, if you didn't get it on your own, don't look for MAFS to get it for you, because it ain't never happened. Anybody on MAFS has had to work on their relationship. to some capacity, whether it's attraction or just differences in personality. And, look, you don't come there to get, the bachelorette experience. That's not what it is. So I'm tired of folk coming on the screen expecting well, I told them what I wanted. Okay, well, have you watched a season before you came on this show and trusted somebody to marry you? Because when has anybody ever got the person of their dreams? It very rarely happens. So we also have to be realistic. People have to be be a little realistic, and that's what I think sometimes people in La La Land and a little delusional, and then they come to mass with that delusion and expecting to get a wish list.
I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair to Kirsten just a little bit. Someone asked the question, Jack, and I'm gonna ask the question because I think it is a fair point. Do we think some of her lack of attraction has anything to do with Shaq's leaning into his feminine energy?
It's not the way he looks. I think it's 90% his vibe. Maybe 85, like the bald head 15. Bald head 15, his vibe 85. And that's why I said it's a done deal with them. She already knows. And that's why women, it's not about looks. That's why when we say we want a medium ugly dude, it's because a medium ugly dude can come in and be very mid, and his vibe is everything. It's the energy. It's all about the energy. I don't know why this concept be so hard, but I'm gonna keep nailing it until y'all understand. But
why can't you say medium handsome? Medium handsome. Let's change it to medium handsome from now on. We want medium handsome.
Almost
I like medium handsome because we're leaning into the positivity in 2023.
That's what I'm trying to say. Medium handsome.
So positive energy. But I think Shaq is just everything that he's doing is leaning into that vibe. Even when she's saying, you're not talking to me like a person, what she's trying to say is you're having all of these corporate, very surface level conversations because you're covering up something. That's really what she's saying. People who just kind of stay on the surface and have interview vibes, he's not digging deep for some reason. And maybe that's what she's getting at with the joking thing too. He's not being serious.
I can see that being the case.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can rock with that. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I agree with you as well, but there seems to be that lack of maybe depth in terms of her being able to get deeper. I think that what goes both ways. I think he's unable to get past her shield, and her particular defenses as well. So I think both of them have got issues in terms of being open, and being able to allow the other person in to get deeper with one another. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think she does want a bit more, and I think he definitely wants a bit more. I just think that she keeps mentioning that bald head. There ain't nothing saving him. There's no amount of depth from the Grand Canyon. Oh, sorry, apologies. The apples come back up. Can save him. So honestly, yeah, I agree with you though. She probably does want a bit more, but yeah, he ain't gonna get nowhere. No matter how much depth he got, she gonna keep on playing his ass. And the fact that she's doing the touching on camera and not off camera says everything. Says everything. You know what I mean? That girl is. I'm sure she goes into the shower and she's like, "Oh my god." He touched me. I'm sure she was in the shower.
Something else,
bro.
Get that shower head.
Was that code for the shower head? That was code for something else.
She goes into that shower and she's like, "God damn it, he touched me." I know women, and listen, they're worse than us. At least you know what we would do. You might be halfway cute. You know what I'm saying? You might be, medium cute, and we're gonna at least touch you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna touch you. We might even sleep with you. And after that, we're like, well, bro, it is what it is. I had to get my little jiggy off. But with women, Oh my god, she gonna have an absolute fit after. She gonna be like, the shower needs to shower me, like he touched me, I'm dirty. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, like, you know, I can't believe I even allowed myself to be in my space. And then you start replaying the shit in your head, like, oh my god, he breathed. Oh my god, like that's how women are. Women are. I think they're different to us men. At least us, you know, we gonna hit it one time, maybe twice. You know, and be like, yo, bro, I hit it. You know, I had to do what I had to do. You know, I ain't trying to wife it like that, but bro, you know what it is. But with women, if they're turned off you and you in their space and you breathing, you alive, you can die, and she'd be like, you have to go and die in my space. Like you, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you got hit by a car. Great, you got hit by a car in the day that I'm walking past. Like anything will annoy them at that point. So I'm sorry, he can't be saved. He cannot be saved. But I would say again that, you know, I think they both do want to be able to they need some depth from one another as well, you know. Let me ask this question to the ladies, maybe specifically. If Kirsten were to sleep with him, could it save the day? Could it save the day? If the thing is hitting, could it save the day?
It might buy him one more week, but it ain't saving nothing. She's done. She's done. And he's in full shutdown. Like, what's that gonna do? That's gonna give him a little bit of hope. Like the person Sean doesn't want me to name, Haley, and Jacob. Was that gonna buy him one more week? No. Give him a little bit of hope.
That sunk Jacob that first night. That was it. That's when Haley went full hell on him.
Yeah, but he was bad though. So that's the point.
That's the difference.
According to her, he was bad. What if Shaq touches her tummy? You know what I'm saying? Hey,
but she already don't like him, and the sex is bad. Get that.
That's at least a month. That it has to be a month at least. If he give her the short breath, you know what I'm talking about.
A week, bro.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know, you get a woo. You surprised. I ain't gonna be like this. You know what I'm talking about.
She's not even gonna let him get that close. Are you kidding me? She's got on a chastity belt when that guy is around.
She's got on
she see it though. And she like, maybe.
Shaq
maybe. You know, let me see what it's talking about for a second.
Yeah, you don't even seem like she would want that toxic sex. She's like, nope.
I agree.
Get somebody else to do
it. Seaway.
This is what I would say. That would be like, I think Angel Eyes said, that would be bed in the house. That'd be bed in everything. If she allowed it, it would either be the strong yes, or it would save him. I do think it would buy him a lot of time if he displayed some masculinity, some dominance. Like if it kind of like changed the way she viewed him, then maybe it would buy him a little bit more time. But if it in any way verifies what she's already probably feeling, he might as well just take his stuff and leave. So I wouldn't do it if I was him, if I was her, because all that's gonna do is probably confirm what she already feeling.
So Kojo, I'm gonna throw something controversial out there, okay? So she already done said that she don't like to kiss. That's not her forte, right? So she gonna do the guac guac.
Sean, what does that have to do with the other?
I'm just saying, I think, and this is where I'm going with it, right? I think it all sets the stage for nothing to happen. I think it sets a stage that they'll never get to that point where she would even give him a chance. Because she's like, I don't like to kiss. I don't like kissing. We can touch on the hands, you know, we can play a little patty cake, you know, but that's as far as you gonna get. Because you're not gonna get this mouth on nothing. That's what I think. She done told him.
Now you acting like Arris. I don't even know how your brain even went to that place. I don't see the connection. I don't, none of
really?
it.
Really?
Sean Davis Arris right now. What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying. Some of the ladies get it. Some of the ladies get it. It's like it's a way to shut it down because exactly 2 hours. So she's letting him know. Just don't even envision it. I don't like to kiss. I'm not a good kisser. I ain't kissing nothing.
Listen, Kirsten is not even gonna rub the head on top, right? She ain't even gonna stroke the ball head. He ain't getting no nothing, right? Let's not even lie to ourselves. It doesn't matter how masculine he is. It doesn't matter how deep his voice is, how many hairs he's got on his chest. She's not feeling him. She already said before she even met him, the bald head was a red flag. She's not interested in him after that. So there's nothing that's going to change that. We can try and talk about how zesty he is and feminine and all the rest. It doesn't matter. He could be the masculine man out here, like doing, saying all the right masculine words and don't worry, baby, I got you. No, it's not gonna work with Kirsten. She doesn't feel him. Like, so the only thing he can do is not try to push for the sex and the intimacy and all that stuff, because it's just going to complicate things. He's going to come out the worst because he really liked her. From what we've heard, this is the girl that he's been waiting to meet all this time. So it's going to affect him negatively. She's not going to care, but because she can just shut him down, and because she's not attracted to him, she can just run around and say, oh, well, look, he tried it on me. I'm not feeling him. That's another reason to pin him to the wall, you know? So, yeah, he better not try and do anything like that, because she's not even prepared to kiss him. She's not prepared to even stroke his bald head. She's not prepared to even stroke his ego. She's not doing nothing. She doesn't like him. The best thing to do is for her to be real, just like Trey said. Just be real, be honest. Look, you're not feeling the brother. That's it. They've already had a conversation in the group setting where they talked about the lack of attraction between all of the couples. So she's not by herself in this. Like, they don't, like, most of the couples just ain't feeling each other in terms of attraction. They're not each other's types, and it's really weighing down on their relationship. They ain't seen each other naked. They ain't done nothing. None of them. All right. So it's no shame. I don't think she should take it to heart or anything, but I definitely think she's playing up for the cameras. Why? Because not only because he said it, but you can tell, like, she's trying to lead him in to the trap with some cheese. Like, she's trying to, yeah, well, if you do this and you do that, then I'm sure. No, you're just giving false hope. He's not going to get anywhere higher in your estimation. You don't rate him. You don't like him. And maybe they should have paired her with Arris. He's not bald. And he seems to be a lot more, I want to say, hood, or not as intelligent sounding, I want to say. So maybe Arris would have been a better match for her, and Shaq would have been a better match for Jasmine.
Arris's energy would have definitely pulled her in. Yeah, Sean. Yeah. Think about it. His energy, the way he goes about, that's the type of dude she's used to dating.
That's what she wants. They missed on every couple but the one with the shoulders and the nice guy. I mean, and only reason why that works is because the nice guy is just looking for a girl to love him. I don't think he's really big on looks like that. And then Nicole, what's her name? Help me with these names again, y'all.
Nicole, you're right.
Nicole just wants to
I've
be
been
loved.
calling her arm tattoo this whole time.
Yeah, I've been calling her arms, yeah, shoulders. So they're fine, but everybody else, like, why would any of these
gymnast build? Seawave, remember you told me gymnast is a gymnast build.
I just said shoulders. I didn't make a comment about what type of shoulders. I just said shoulders. But Nicole, none of the couples make sense, and they do this literally every single time. Honestly, they're lucky that McKinley likes the biracial girl, because I would never put a white dude with a girl that thick. Never. Never. I can say it, Sean. I'm just saying. They like thinner women most of the time. They're lucky. Maps is lucky he ain't say nothing about her yet. That's why she was triggered by what Clint said. I know we're going to get to that later. But yeah, they tried it. They tried it on every single level. And, you know, Jasmine is a sweetheart. And I really wish that Arris liked her, but I understand some of the issues that he may have. So,
all right.
And Kristen Nicole ain't working either, and they ain't doing nothing.
And why would Gina want Clint?
We don't know, but we're gonna move on. Okay, we're gonna move on to your favorite couple, guys. Okay, Arris and Jasmine. All right, they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves. Okay.
Fall in love with me, but I don't know if that'll happen. So that worries me a little bit. But yeah,
I feel like it is gonna be a challenge, but like a good challenge. Like I would love to be somebody's first love. Like that would.
I mean, first of all, he said it incorrectly. I would love to be somebody's first love. No, sir. They're gonna be, you need to be someone's first love. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, obviously, Arris and Jasmine, your thoughts on this couple and what's going on right now? You know, it's looking a bit mad right now. He said he's got an attraction level of 4 out of 10. But he did say earlier on that, you know, he found her attractive. He said she was attractive and she's all pageant beauty and this and that, you know, and you know, he ain't really feeling her that way, you know what I'm saying? But now it's starting to make a bit more sense. Honestly, I think he's got some issues. Okay, not maybe I shouldn't say issues, but there's something not quite right in the milk, as somebody would say, right? Because like I started piecing this together, I was like, oh wait, hold on. Downward dog. No, just bear with me now, guys. Bear with me now. Downward dog. Walk 3000. Feed me grapes. It's starting to give a bit of I don't want to see your face. I just want to hit from the back energy. It's starting to give that kind of energy. I started deepening it that this brother has intimacy issues because just I'm not even trying to make it's a gross part. It's the fact that the positions he chose and the behavior, then the grapes thing, and you know how he carries himself. It's almost as if he's looking for a maid, a sexual maid. That's what he's looking for. That's what it's given. I just want a sex maid, and that's it. Because even the positions he chose were ones that don't involve face. I mean, you know, so I started realizing that this brother here don't really. He got intimacy issues, and that was before he even really deeped Jasmine. So I think that's something a little bit deeper than just that he does not attracted to Jasmine. I think that it's the way he thinks about women. I think it's the way that he perceives intimacy and the way he perceives connecting with somebody. And maybe that's why that's why he's probably liking the fact he doesn't find her a little bit attractive. Maybe he wants to change, and maybe this is the only way. You know, when you have to be forced to change, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. But yeah, the get on your knees situation too, like all that kind of stuff is very dominant, submissive energy, right? So yeah, it's looking a bit peak right now. Yeah, Crystal, go for it. You open your mic, go for it.
Yes, you definitely hit the nail on the head with this one. Speaking about the type of women that he thought had perfect butts was Serena Williams and Meg Thee Stallion. They were perfect to him. They weren't even his type or what he, a good looking, but they were perfect. He used the word perfect to him. And she's too thin and stuff like that. And he emphasized their butts. All of those things, I definitely think that he has issues with that. And I think the fact that she's not leaned into her more sexual side, and she really wants a loving connection and a lasting marriage with him, and but she's picking up on it because she's starting to roll her eyes. She's like, he doesn't want to have these deep conversations, and it's really starting to get on her nerves. But all of these little sexual innuendos he's saying, all of he doesn't want to have these conversations. It's really bugging her, and it's really telling a lot about him, because even the guys blew up his spot when they were all in the group. They said, "Oh, you told us that it was going to be immediate. You told us that she was my wife is preparing." I'm gonna get it wrong, y'all. My wife is preparing to do something. She's preparing for me or something like that. She's preparing for our sex, something. I can't remember the exact words he said, but all of these things that he's been saying, that's the real him. And I think that she's starting to get a little nervous, a little scared, and like, this guy is not right. He doesn't want a long-time lasting relationship. And I don't even think that he considers her a 4 or 5. He knows that she's beautiful, but he's been attracted to, and honestly, it might be like a porn issue. Like he's attracted to those video vixen or that style, that look. And that's why he's single. I'm sorry, but that's so those relationships you haven't been able to keep. You've been able to what, have sex with them, hit it and quit it and go. And she was like, I want to have a respectful conversation. And even in the dinner, she said, well, he said it's giving respectful. And she said, isn't that a good thing? And he said, well, what, he wants her to lean into the whole side of her. I was like, isn't this the fourth day y'all have talked? So she's really starting to deep it, as Kojo would say. She's starting to roll her eyes. But I got some smoke for her too. On this end, girl, if you don't, she's playing her hand, just as we were talking about. I was saying with, what's her name, with Kirsten, you have told this man that this is a lot of pressure because you've never fallen in love. I'm afraid, I'm scared. You've shown your vulnerable side to him, and now he knows that he can manipulate you, or he can shut it down. And I'm all about being given to your man and acts of service and stuff, but you've done all the massaging, you've done all of the feeding. Has he even fixed his mouth to suggest feeding you? Has he done any of that? And I think she's starting to deepen, and she's really starting to just like roll her eyes and get really, really frustrated. But yeah, there's something else here with Arris, that there's more going on. But I want her to stop harping on the fact that he hasn't fallen in love yet, and the why. Like, what else is going on? What stop bringing it up. Stop bringing it up, because he doesn't care about the bringing it up. He find out why, and why he keeps the Serena Williams, the Meg Thee Stallion, and thinking that that's perfect, and only looking at their butts, and talking about sex. It might be a porn issue. I don't know, but there's something else going on there. That's all for now.
Who's next? Who wants to tackle the Arris situation? Oh no, I haven't heard for you a long time, Onu. Go for it.
Arris is not helping himself. I think Arris is like emotionally delayed or relationship immature. You have to understand, he's like 39 going on 40. He's been in the streets for, let's say, since 23, 25 years. He's used to sexualizing everything, and like you just hear it from the beginning. Everything's about sex and sex and sex. He's just sexualizing everything, and I think it's now it's now rearing his ugly head when his conversations and how he's thinking and processing, and his taking time to think and process. And my main issue with him was, I think he was 2 years too soon to be on this show, because it looks like he just, like, a couple months ago was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna read a help book. I'm gonna go to a couple therapy sessions, and then I'm gonna sign up for maths and try to do something entirely different. And now that you're hearing him, one, like, I've never been in love situation, and how he's phrasing it, it's bad. It sounds bad, but when you dig deep into it, it's just like, he hasn't said he's never been in a relationship where he had to do or say any of these type of things, and now he's here, and now it's putting him in a situation where he can start manipulating, start lying, or start being something that he's not. But at least it's acknowledging what he isn't, and at least putting that at the front. So again, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. The problem is, you're gonna have to go very, very slowly with this person, and he's gonna have to change exactly what he's saying, because what he's saying isn't catching. He's not catching up to his words, and now I see him processing these things. You would hope that this was happened a couple years ago before coming to the show, not 3 months or 1 week before going to the show. And you remember at the bachelor party, he was just talking about breaking her back down. Like, that was like a week before the wedding, and now he's here. So it's like, the time he's going to need to deprogram and desensitize and then to be able to have a current talk moving forward is going to be a key thing. I feel my issue with Jasmine, you don't want to pressure him into saying the I love you or validate what his actual feelings are to her too soon, because then that's the issue that you're going to have. Why is he saying these certain things? So she's going to have to process as it's slowing down, because again, that's what I'm hearing from his side and him processing all these things. And it's just like she says, she falls in love easily, that she gets her emotions and she wants to get there. The question is, once you get there, you're going to be stuck there. He might not be there. And if he's not there, he's saying he's never been there, but if he's not there and he can't reciprocate those things without going into the bad boy, player boy that he was, again, 4 or 5 months ago, that's going to be a tricky situation to deal with. And that's the thing that I fear the most. It'll be one thing if he hasn't acknowledged that, which at least he's acknowledged that. The problem is he doesn't have a track record of being the person he wants to be. And to me, that's the Arris issue that I have. Yes, it kind of toned down towards the end of this episode, but again, like, does he go back to sexual inquinados in the next episode or next couple of weeks, or is he able to, like, you know what, I'm gonna consciously move on to trying to figure exactly what I like about this person? Yes, Jasmine's a very attractive person, but there's different types of beauty, there's type of attractiveness, and he's probably never ever been in a situation where, you know what, I'm dealing with someone who is a goddess or someone I'm in awe of, but I don't know how to use my words and not make it a sexual topic or a sexual situation. Because again, most of the time he's probably smashing within a week or so. And it's been 2 weeks now that he's trying to focus his brain, not do what it typically does. And he's making the comparisons, but at the same time, it's like he's not saying it to the other person, trying to bring them down. So again, I want to give him some thought. I want to give him some grace right now. Be one thing if he's actually saying these things to her versus him just processing his brain. And that's like, we're kind of in between. Whereas with Clint, you see, like, he just kind of verbal diarrhea, just splitting out what he has to say, which I don't like. So that's where I'm at with Arris. But we have to see where this goes, because again, he's in this tricky situation that I believe in.
I would say, again, I think my main issue, like, he can be attracted to Jasmine or not. That's definitely the preference, but it's the behavior. And I think it's also, and we uncovered it, because after that first comment, that he made about he wants her to be on her knees, right? He's going to tell her to drop to her knees if she, shows up to his room, and we got some flack, and rightfully so. And then we just see this continuum of really immature remarks. Now he's talking about, blowing her back out or blowing somebody's back out. But the funny part is, this is what's really interesting, is that Jasmine almost seems like she's like, well, show me that energy, but you're doing all this talking, but there's no energy to match. So that's when I got a problem, because that's also a little gaslightish, right? Because you're doing more talking about what you can do than what you're doing. So I think when we as men go down that path of doing all this bravado and talking about what we're going to do, we're going to lay it down, that's when, sometimes you got to just walk the walk and let your efforts talk for you and not you talk for you. Because she's like, where that then? And the other part, I just feel so bad for her. When they were getting that couples massage, I was like, oh man, this poor girl. Like, she's just rubbing and touching on him, and she's like, this is the most we done touched each other. Meanwhile, he's just laying there. I'm like, yo, this lady is just giving it her all, and he's just there soaking it up. And that's the problem I have with him. It's like, he thinks he's doing something by withholding sex or claiming to wait for the sex, but I don't think he's doing that really. It's just a smoke screen, because he's not sexually attracted to her. And it came up on the after party too, when he was talking with Keisha. So he's not sexually attracted to her. So all that other stuff that he's talking about, oh, I want to wait, I want to try things differently. No. No, 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 no. You just aren't sexually attracted to her, buddy. And you just need to stay in that lane and stop doing all of this, because if you was the real, dude that was an F-boy slanging it in the streets, it wouldn't matter what Jasmine looked like. You would be like, let's get this popping to see if there's some chemistry here. But clearly, you want to make it about all these other things. And I think he's the rudest out of everybody. Gina annoyed me, but I think he's the rudest because he keeps making it about other things than what it is. And then he's not honest. And then he wants to soak up all her energy, right? Because what man doesn't love that when a woman touches you, caters to you like that, but you're not reciprocating it and you don't know where you are. So I just, Jasmine needs to pull back and he needs to knock it off.
Yeah, I have a theory when it comes to Arris and Jasmine. Check this out. Remember we were talking I think it was last week or the week before, and we mentioned how Arris and Clint had recently been knocking boots up to 2 weeks before the show started, right? As recent as 2 weeks. So Arris hasn't had time to come out of F-boy mode or come out of the streets and all that. His mindset is still, man, like if I like a girl, I'm gonna knock it down. If I don't like her, then I still knock it down, but I'm not gonna get too close. That's what it comes across to me. So he doesn't have the mature aspect coming into this marriage in the first place. And I think the cues that he is giving Jasmine would work on some of the girls that he's dealt with previously, but they're not going to work with Jasmine because she's actually someone who's very attractive. She's very polished. She's a beauty pageant winner, which he also mentioned. That may be a factor as well. So I think like Arris is still in knocking the boots mode in the neighborhood, whatever he's done. He's never been in love before, and that was a sticking point for her. But again, if he is going to find love, what better place to find it than with his wife? I don't think it's going to happen, but just saying, like, he hasn't been in love before. That might be a red flag to some, but that means that there's an opportunity for him to find his first love at some point, and it could have been her. But yeah, he's used to dealing with a different type of lady than what he has on this show, and it's evident because all the downward dog and feed me and all these that might work in the hotel room or when you're linking each other at each other's house, but on this show where you're trying to do the marriage thing and you don't know each other and all that, he's struggling. And he, if he rates her a 4 out of 10, that's very low in terms of attraction. All right. And considering she's won beauty contests before, then she's obviously appealing to most people. So there's obviously something wrong with how he sees her, right? So Jasmine as well, I did hear her say on this episode, she's waiting for him to make the move to take them to bed and all that stuff. I don't think that's a good idea because I think some other things need to be matching first before they just go, and it's still early in the process, but I think it would ruin it if they had sex. It would blur the lines for the stuff that they actually need to get sorted out and worked on before they can have a serious relationship.
Now, JR, the only thing I'll disagree with is I don't think the beauty pageant qualifies her because I done seen some beauty queens that might be somebody else's prize, but not everybody, I think, but she is an attractive girl. I'm not saying she's not, but not because of the beauty pageant.
I hear that. No, not me personally either, but I'm just saying, like, she's won them pageants. So
I don't, yeah, this is a thin line here. But I don't think that he thinks she's attractive, period, or sexually. I know that she's a beauty pageant winner. I just don't think that he thinks that she's attractive, and I'm gonna leave it there. and I think he's trying to be nice about it. And I think that he would switch places for Kirsten in a minute. And he said it. I think his constant mentioning of her being a beauty pageant winner on the after party and around other people is because he's trying to be kind. But I think that's just him trying to be, nice about it. Yeah. Sorry, y'all kept on throwing me off with this beauty pageant thing. I can't even remember what the crap I was gonna say because y'all are killing me with this beauty pageant thing. What the hell was I even gonna say? Y'all may have to come back to me because y'all are throwing me off with this PC crap. So I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'm gonna.
What? We was on the same page. I think you said it your way, I said it mine, but we said the same thing.
You came around this time, but I think y'all.
Seaway is tired. Seaway is tired, and she.
I'm tired of this crap. Y'all are being really fake about this right now.
No, who said anything about a beauty pageant though?
Seaway's tired.
No, you're doing good. Nobody's coming at you about the beauty pageant.
You know,
listen, you have to remember, we've had this conversation before. Like, it's different. When a woman states how unattractive a guy is, and she doesn't like him, or he's medium or medium ugly, or however you want to phrase it, we've had it. Guys can't really say that like that. You have to be a lot more polite and nice about it. Because if we say it, then it's taken a lot different.
I'll say. I mean, he could be polite as he wants to. I don't think he said anything overtly rude about her looks. Outside of, I had to peep it when he said on the after party that he normally likes Lauren London types. Then he said that he likes a Serena Williams booty. It's like Serena Williams, Lauren London, like, what are you getting at? I think it's just like he just to say, what is he attracted to, or he's not attracted to her, but just treat her like a human. And I think that is for what me and maybe some of the other people that feel the same way. It's like, I think he's being rude. I think he's being silly and immature in the way he's treating her. He's not reciprocating her energy. He's taking her lobster tail. I love me a good lobster. Take the whole thing. He's so selfish, soaking up all the attention and not willing to, give anything back in return, and being okay with that, and then justifying his actions. Now, I'll defend only children because I am one, but I think he's really acting like an atypical only child. That is, his behavior is like the epitome of the worst only child.
Yeah, I'll say it. Go ahead, Trey. No, you go ahead. I remember I was going to say it.
I'll say it. In regards to the beauty pageant statements, the way he prefaces those statements, he's trying to figure out in his head how. Because he's not attracted to her. He knows she's one, especially on the after show. The way he said it. I mean, she's attractive, right? I mean, she's won beauty pageants, right? So someone found that though. Someone found her attractive. He's trying to understand why. Because he don't get it.
He's like, maybe it's me. I'm sorry.
And he's thinking because she's not an ugly girl. But you know what? Okay, let's keep it real. I don't think Jasmine's ugly. I think she's pretty attractive. But when you look closely, yeah, there's some flaws going up, up and around some places. It's drawing his eyes to it. He cannot see it. Hey, we're gonna be real. He cannot see it. He's looking, even though he ain't looking at himself, because he ain't perfect either. But I'll say this. It's interesting. I think he's because he's an only child syndrome. He is a self-sabotager, and we're about to see that in these next few weeks because he doesn't find her attractive, and he doesn't think that's the change. He's going to show his behind so much that it's going to make her want to get away from him. Watch what's about to happen.
I absolutely agree with you, Trey. She's like, I'll show you. You're like, you know what I mean? I definitely. She's like, I didn't get married to be a best friend, and that's not how we're gonna play this. But I think that he's not attracted to her because he's gonna actually have to work at something. I
Yeah.
think that he's like, oh damn, now I got to be respectful. Oh,
Yeah.
now
Oh, he about to show his
actually,
behind.
now I gotta actually like figure out what she likes. Like now I gotta actually talk to her. He's used to, what did he say? Meg the Stallion, Serena Williams, Lauren London, probably Lauren London now, not Lauren London ATL. So he's like, oh gosh, now I actually have to think about her and not be selfish and actually want to, see what she wants to for dinner. Oh, that's just way too much work. That's way too much work for him. That's not what he's had to do. So, and I definitely think he is delayed, and nobody's actually had to hold him accountable. So he's like, oh
Yep.
gosh, now I gotta actually put this to work. She's not gonna put up with this. Oh, I'm a 4 or a 5. I'm rubbing a
He's
4 or a 5 is rubbing your feet. I don't think so.
He's trying to be nice about it. That's the funny thing. He thinks he's trying to be nice about it. He doesn't want to say what he really want to say. He don't want to say it because he knows that would be overly rude to her. He's not stupid. Even though that's his opinion, he's not stupid. But watch what's about to happen. He gonna start wilding. He gonna be doing things. No.
And this man looks like a mosquito. I don't care whatever dental issues she got. I'm sorry.
A mosquito.
It's just the bottom row. She just got a few bottom rows, a little turn to the side. Ain't nothing serious.
Trey,
And that's small.
we need you to stop. Trey, please.
Hey, we all saw it. Don't even try. I ain't got a problem with it, but obviously he do, because every time he look at her, he's looking dead at it. That's the crazy. I keep seeing it.
We need you to be reasonable.
Little
Trey.
eyes, yeah. That's where his eyes are going.
At it, and then try to look away.
Beady eyes.
Somebody else to do it. We are gonna leave this young lady's
beady eyes.
Listen, her teeth is fine to me, but he keeps looking at it. That's why
I'm surprised. You talking like Kirsten about the.
I noticed he was staring at it. I was like, "What is a mirror?" Because any other time he won't look at her, but when he looks at her, he keeps looking in this area. I was like, "What is he looking at?" And then I was like, "Oh, that's one of the things that's bothering him." It shouldn't.
What Meg Thee Stallion lookalike has he actually kept around for more than a year?
Okay.
What? Sorry.
So here's a couple things. Arris does have some flaws. I'm not gonna point out his. Like, I've been doing my best not to say nothing about Jasmine, but he has his flaws. But the thing is that even a man that is short with his other flaws that he has that I will not mention still can pull baddies in 2023 if he has a good job. It is quite possible that even with the numerous flaws that we've seen, Arris can pull chicks that look a lot better than Jasmine. And I think he probably has been pulling chicks that look a lot better than Jasmine because he has a good job. He's over here moving, sticking and moving. He's probably accustomed to girls who probably look better and are more docile and are more willing to, even though I know y'all think Jasmine is docile, I'm going to get to that in a second, but they're more willing to, be there for a good time and not a long time. And I think that's the mode he's in. I also agree with Kojo, and I forgot who else said it, but I do think he's dealing with some type of trauma that has turned into sexual trauma that has him be in this form of like a sex fiend. Because I do agree the way, and that's why I think a lot of the women called it out, that it's not a normal thing to talk about your wife like that on your wedding day. That was like the first bad sign. And everything he's done since then has just been overtly sexual. And there's something wrong with that. I do think, though, he has a will not to be that way. But if you were doing stuff before 2 weeks or a week before your wedding, you have not given yourself enough time to change. I'm not going to put anybody in the trash can. I think Arris has the will to change, but I don't think he has the way right now or the capacity. And I think that's his problem. When it comes to Jasmine, I think we are being a little too hard on her for the folks calling her pick-me's and things like that. I am queen of telling somebody that that they're pick-me and they're too docile and they're too forgiving. I think what Jasmine is doing is, I do think that she is showing too much. She's showing too much of her cards. She's putting a little bit too much out there, because I don't believe that Arris has shown that he's a safe landing space. But I think Jasmine is just the type of a giver. I think that she seems like she's a natural person who wants to give a massage, that wants to go get her man's food, whatever, who wants to do these type of things. Not all of women are like that, you know? Like, I'm not the, oh, can I go get your plate for you type baby? Like, I'm not that person, but there are women who are like that. And I think it's unfortunate that she's going to have to pull back that part of her personality, because he's a taker and he's taking, and she can't even be a giver that she wants to be because he's such a taker. But I don't think Jasmine is as stupid as Paige. I don't think she can be nowhere compared to Paige. Jasmine is already peeping game. When she said, when he was talking about, something about, he doesn't like somebody or whatever, and Jasmine's like, well, that can be the same. Somebody can say the same thing about you. Jasmine's not stupid. She's coming around. She's going to check that man. I have faith in her. I don't think she's as stupid as people think she is. I think she's trying to give her marriage a good try, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do think she's gonna have an awakening ASAP. Lastly, the only thing I'll say in Arris's defense is that I don't think any man on this panel would know how to properly navigate telling a woman that they're not attracted to her, knowing good and well that there's no coming back from that. What he's trying to do is see if he can try to fix this lack of attraction before he has to say it. My only grievance is, while you're trying to fix that lack of attraction, don't be telling your homeboys that you're not attracted to her, because if that gets back to her, then you screwed up anyway. Then you should have just told her to her face, you know what I mean? If you're going to be a chatty patty. But if he told Jasmine that he's not attracted to her, she's done. The relationship is done. Women can't handle that. We literally can't handle that. I don't care if he becomes attracted to her in 2 weeks. It's done. So I don't think he's wrong for trying to wait it out, personally.
And I agree with you, Seaway, because if you look at what Clint said, like, look how far that's made him plummet in everyone's estimation in the group, right? And even though he gave context about what he actually said, no one wants to hear the context. The fact of the matter is, as far as everyone's concerned, he said that Gina's not attractive, and she can't handle it. She can handle when she says it to him about his ginger features, his ginger hair, and all that other stuff. But she couldn't take it when Clint pointed out that his type is usually a certain type, and it's not what Gina is. But he's still trying to make it work in the process, right? And as we see, as we're probably going to cover later, it doesn't bode well for him, because she's gone. As soon as he made that comment, he gave her exactly what she dished out, but he did it in a way which provided context, where she was just direct. Even though there's not an attraction there, blah, 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 blah. And she even reiterated it in the group setting when they were talking about attraction amongst all the couples, right? Like,
wait, JR, you skip it.
Yeah.
We still on Harris and Jasmine. Harris is Coach
All right.
He going
all right. Let me refocus on Arris. Yeah, I agree, Siway. He has to.
He was getting deep in there. That energy.
He has to tiptoe around the situation if he wants to make it work. All right. If he's going to make a concerted effort, then at least he has to try and learn her, try and realize that this is a different lady to the women he's come across before. And he's in a process now where he's married. This isn't like it's a one-hit quit or a Tinder hookup or a booty call or anything like that. He's going to potentially be with this woman for life if they manage to get it right. So,
you know what?
yeah, go ahead.
It's funny. what is it? One Mike, I don't know how to say your name, says, I guess women can have standards, but men can't. You know what? I'm on your. Are you a guy? I can't see your thing. I think you are. I'm on your side. I don't think that men can't have standards because I'm trying to keep it real. Honestly, if Arris would have said that he's not attracted to Jasmine, all the women would have been like, "Oh my God, Arris, you're so mean. Jasmine, you're so beautiful." Da-da-da. That's the cap. That's the cap that we do. That's what we do. We did that crap with Paige. And I was like one of the few women who was like, come on now. It doesn't matter that you guys want to support women and say that she's cute. He don't think she's cute. Now, he did a lot of effed up stuff. I'm not saying Chris didn't do a lot of effed up stuff. But I think women spend a lot of time trying to convince Chris that Paige was cute. And that's the same thing that they would be doing to Arris. If someone says that Arris, hey CC, if someone said that, if Arris said that Jasmine wasn't cute, all the women on the show and a lot of women in the comments would have been like, he is so wrong for saying Jasmine's not cute. She is cute to me. All she has to do is get some veneers and do something and get some squats. Y'all, we can't tell that man who he thinks is cute. And just because we think he got a funny shaped head, that does not mean that he can't pull people better than Jasmine. Men get a chance to pull people bad all the time if they have some funds.
And look,
you
you bring up a good point. And, you know, Ryan got a lot of flack, and Ryan was as nice as he could be, right? But everybody was like, Brett's a baddie. Brett's a baddie. Oh, I would take potato. Even early on in the season, some of y'all not necessarily on the panel per se, but when it came down to Clinton Gina, they was like, oh, Gina's fine. Gina, yeah, maybe to you.
I definitely think he's been pulling them, but has he been able to keep them around? No, I don't think he has. I think his personality shows up and they don't like it turns them off. He can pull them. Yeah, he does have a funny shaped head, but he's probably pulling them left and right. But is he keeping them around for a year? Is he keeping them around? I don't think so. But I want to go back to, I said this in the beginning. She is rolling her eyes. All this stuff that all this crap that he's spewing out, she's not picking it up. And she's like, she's not liking it. She's figuring it out. I do believe that she's in service to her man, and she's not a pick-me. She is not a pick-me. She just wants this relationship to work, and she wants to do those things for her man. That's fine. But she's picking up what he's she's peeping on this game. She's not gonna put up with this. And Trey said it earlier. She's like, you gonna shoot yourself in the foot if you keep acting like this. I totally agree with that. Just all of the rolling of the eyes, she's done with it. She's done. He's pulling them, but he's keeping them.
Both Arris and has a superiority contest. They think they see themselves a little bit better than Miranda. They're very similar in that way. My question is, how long you think it's going to be before Chris tells Jasmine what she told her? It's going to be quick, which is probably because I think Seaway's right. I think even though Arris is moving kind of funny, I do think he is trying. But when Jasmine gets the info, that's going to put her in the mood. It's going
to be a wrap.
Yeah.
It's going to be a wrap, because if he was going to say it to other people, then he should have said it to her. And I think it's Lorraine said in the comments, Seaway, just because you think she's unattractive doesn't mean we're capping. I want to clarify. I was talking about the people on the panel were capping, because some of them were trying to say stuff but be polite without saying it. I'm not telling y'all who y'all should think is attractive. That's y'all think whoever y'all want to think is attractive. That's everybody got two eyes and an opinion in a butthole. I'm just saying that I think the people on the panel were beating around the bush about what they was trying to say, because I know them. I know them, okay? And I know when they're trying to be cute about something instead of saying what it is. That's
So
what I was
who
talking
you
about.
calling out? Just
I'm gonna
say
leave
it.
it alone, and I think we need to move to the next couple because Kojo's not
We
back.
still got
So-
3 minutes. We still got 3 minutes.
Oh, we got through. Oh, you keeping the clock?
That's it. So that's that. But I want you to call him out.
I was
Who
just trying
is?
to move it forward. If Kojo
No,
wasn't
no,
coming back.
no. We're not doing no. We're not gonna do the light shade. Just come on
Final
with it.
thoughts on Arris? No, I
just
can't
wanna
Yeah.
wait
hear
till
about that part.
Jasmine speaks up.
Well, I was gonna say, like, to Crystal's point about him not being able to keep him around. Listen, if he hasn't found love in any of the girls he dated, then technically he would be an F boy if he kept them around, knowing that he ain't feeling them like that. So he may be on some quick relationships or quick hookups and things like that. But again, just like Seaway said, and I said earlier, like, he hasn't had enough time to even come out of that that way of dating or that way of seeing people. He's married now, so he has to adapt to how Jasmine is as a person and get to learn her probably more in depth than he's probably had to do that before. And let's be real, like, he is not a catch from what I see in the comments. A lot of women, they don't have time for him either. But he's trying to do it in a way where he isn't being rude. He could be, he's had plenty of opportunity to put his foot in his mouth a lot, right? But he hasn't done that. He's come across as someone who, as you said, is kind of fixated on booties and butts and downward dogs and feed me and all this other stuff. And like I said, that might work previously, but that's not what he's here for now. Like, it's a lot more of getting to know the person and seeing if you mesh, because it's a long-term situation potentially for this.
But I think how you move in your single life, and I know this may be an unpopular opinion, I think how you move in your single life in preparation for a serious relationship says a lot about your readiness. Some people are big on having like a long roster and then jumping into a serious relationship. I think for a lot of people, you need to phase out and really work on yourself and really spend time with yourself and slow down on the hoeing, slow down on all the dating. So like for the women, we can't be going on 10 billion dinner dates, catching meals and doing whatever. The men, you can't be sticking it everywhere because mentally you're not prepared for the seriousness of the situation. And I think him moving like that in his single period shows that he is not ready for prime time. And I don't think it's easy to just switch like that, Like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be caught cheating. It's gonna be something that's gonna happen on the show. But if he doesn't want to mess with Jasmine, what you think he's gonna be doing? You think a person that clearly is a sex fiend is gonna last, what is this show, 8 weeks? I don't think he's gonna last 8 weeks. He either gonna mess with Jasmine and mess with her head, or he gonna be out there doing something. He ain't what is Sean? He gonna leave with something. He gonna do something. He gonna do something.
From the hood, he gonna leave with something.
He gonna leave with something.
It's
gonna go left.
All right. Any other final thoughts on Mr. Arris and Miss Jasmine?
No, not you holding out. We could have switched, trying to have this whole 10 minutes.
Listen, you had the last word. I ain't gonna tussle about them no more. All right, so our favorite that we couldn't wait to get to. So Gina and Clint.
Let JR
you wanna go first, JR, since your clip was already partially unloaded.
We waiting on you, JR.
Unmute. You're muted, JR.
Yeah, so I was like, so the clip I was actually talking about was obviously when they get in the group setting, like, Arris is kind of in a position where he's hearing what Clint said and how it's gone down. So he has to make sure that he doesn't follow that path, right? Because him and Clint were boys when they were hazing Chris at the beginning. But it seems like because of the lead balloon that was, like it's kind of made him more aware of how it's going to go down if he does say something about Jasmine's appearance like that. But to give her a 4, that's bad. I'm surprised they didn't jump on that a lot more, because that's very similar to what, in fact, it's very similar to what Gina said. It's like, you're not feeling the person, so and you expect them to take it, and it's very difficult to take when you're into someone and they're not feeling you. It might be hard to process, or might be hard to accept. That's why I think Jasmine is also
who
trying.
gave who a 4? Clint gave Gina a 4?
No, Arris gave Jasmine a 4 out of 10.
You just want to do what you want to do.
We
gave you the floor to talk about Clinton.
About Clinton. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
You said I'm gonna do what I want to do.
I'm tired as well. I'm tired like Seaway, right? But with Clint. So Clint, I don't think I know there was some malice in it, but I don't think it was designed to cause the damage that it did. I think what happened was basically what she said last week. Yeah, that was a humdinger for him. And when she repeated it again at the table in front of the groups, because they're all talking about attraction or lack thereof. And she reiterated that she's not into ginger guys, right? So he said, yeah, well, I'm used to dating girls who are more slender, more athletic, blah, 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 blah. And automatically you had Nicole go off. Like Nicole went off, standing together in solidarity because they're all big boned. And so, okay, that's cool. But listen, when Gina was with the ladies, she didn't give the full story as to what happened. So that colored their view of what Clint said. So they went in on him quite hard, right? So she got her support, and then she challenged him afterwards. But I'll let you guys go.
Funny thing, JR, actually, well, when I saw the after show, it proved to me that the outrage that the women had was manufactured to a certain extent, because they actually did get the full story. They just edited that part out. Yeah, they actually, the whole ginger comment happened the day before. Apparently, they were talking about it, and Gina brought it up again. That's when he came with his comment, because it was funny. Keisha asked, she asked Dominic, well, since you were there, is that true? She's like, well, yeah. That's when I went, well, wait a minute, what was the outrage for then? And she clearly said that she didn't really like gingers, but then tried to turn it around and to say, well, I had a ginger as boyfriend, and I keep ginger people. I've done their hair before. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here? I got confused. I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. So you mean the scene that y'all showed us in the show was so edited up, and these women getting so riled up for basically nothing?
Exactly, because the confessionals, when you saw Nicole, she was like, Clint, like make it, it just went way too far with it, right? And I'm surprised to hear that, because the way that they went in, it was like it was a bombshell, right? So, yeah. And I didn't watch the after show, but
yeah, Kojo was right. They're trying to turn him into a villain. They're trying,
exactly.
They need a villain.
And that's something I noticed with Gina. What she did, she incited it, and then tried to play the victim when she got the same treatment back on her.
It was weird.
And
I was like, wow.
That to me is villainous, right?
We do.
Yeah, it's like you can dish it, but you can't take it.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I will say though.
Well, we already know they're done, so.
Yeah, they're done. But here's the problem with Clint. Clint's a liar. And on the after show, Keisha and I tried to make him tell the truth. he keeps trying to act like he wasn't retaliating against Gina. He was gaslighting her, talking about he don't know, you know, he didn't know that it would be offensive. That's where I draw the line with Clint. I didn't mind him having to get back, you know what I mean? But you're gonna have to admit that it was a get back. You can't keep playing like you didn't know that you were trying to get her back. Talking about, oh, I didn't know it was offensive, and if I could do it all again, I wouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Lying. And I didn't like that part. So I think Clint deserves smoke for that, because if you're going to try to get that girl back, stand on your own too. I can't stand people who gaslight and play in people's faces. And that's what he was doing. Yeah, exactly. Throwing stones and trying to hide his hand. That's some whack stuff, because he knows he was trying to get her back. And honestly, I don't have no problem with him trying to get her back, because she's constantly saying that he's ginger features. Like I said last time, it comes off as very discriminatory. He even said on the Afterlife that he finds it to be discriminatory. He didn't want to push it and call it like racism, because you don't want to be that white person that calls it racism. But he was trying to allude, and I was kind of disappointed at Keisha acting like she don't understand the history of it. I found that to be kind of ignorant, but that she never knew that type of statements would be offensive. Maybe people just need to spend more time around people of different backgrounds, colors, and whatever, because I grew up knowing that was a very rude thing to say like that. But I also grew up with a lot of white people and black people, and I grew up, you know, hearing that and seeing that it was, you know, offensive. Stop, Steve talking about this white on white discrimination has got to stop.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just got to stop trying to drive this racism point into the ground.
I'm not
it's
trying.
Not racism.
It's not racism, because
it's offensive. You're 100% right.
It's discriminatory, and I think people have to realize that you can't. They are also ostracized for various reasons, and to pretend like we don't see it and it's not derogatory just because it's not as bad as what black people get doesn't make it okay. And for me, I'm not okay with anybody being discriminatory about anything. So I don't care if it's less so than what black people feel. You don't get a pass for being ignorant and being rude. And you also don't get a pass for being ignorant and rude and mad that somebody calls you thick, big boned, and whatever. And now in that, women have to stop with the delusion. Your waist is not a 26. I don't care how many times you tell yourself it is. Is Gina a baddie? In my opinion, absolutely. I think Gina is bad. I think Gina's probably the best person that Clint would pull. I'm with McKinley on that. I don't think he's pulling people better than Gina. That's my opinion. I can have one. I think Gina's bad, in my personal opinion. I think she looks fantastic, but her waist is not a 26, and she needs to stop lying to herself. But she looks great.
Anu, you gonna add to that, Anu?
Immediately.
Ooh, the cat.
Gina ain't bad. Gina bad.
No, anyway, sorry. No.
I think so. See how we all got an opinion? I really think so, though.
Mm.
A beast on her lip. No.
I just think Clint knows better. Like the emotional, I mean, Arris playing him as emotionally immature, relationship mature is fine, but with Clint, like, even though she was being pushed, I don't think it was being pushed. I feel like, or his feelings got hurt, like he could have handled this a lot better. Even if he felt that way, they could have, about being called a ginger, they could have had a lot of things one-on-one off the cameras to kind of sort that thing through. I don't like how it kind of played out for the past couple episodes on camera right there. It just led to just huge reaction to the point, which I'm like, what's the essence of what we're trying to get down with Clint? Is Clint actually calling? Clint was trying to describe his his relationship history versus calling her those things, but somehow they got interchanged. He needs to. I think they both need to apologize a lot better than they did. It just letting it fester till the next day didn't make any sense. Like, it just seems like, I like you, like me, then you don't like me. I don't like you, then it's going to go back and forth for the next couple of weeks. I don't know. how to deal with this. Clint, I mean, for someone who says that they're this relationship not solvent, he's acting like a 5-year-old right now, or a 15-year-old right now. So I just don't understand what we're going to do with this guy. Gina, she's getting away with, like, she's saying nothing but not saying nothing. Everything is just talking about how she doesn't like these type of guys, and then I'm talking about work. You don't hear him saying anything good about Clint. Honestly, it's everything negative that I don't like. And I'm like, if you don't like this person, it's okay to say it and move on, versus saying, you know what, I don't go for this type of people. Again, I'm hearing a lot of people saying, like, again, I think Gina dates black dudes. I'm like, that's what she likes, and it's just like, hey, that's fine. Go be in your truth, because right now this isn't it. And like, the whole, like, the way she's approaching this is someone who goes on a date with someone they don't like, and I'm gonna talk about everything just so we don't have to do this again. But you're doing the thing over and over again. It's getting annoying. I don't know how we get off this. And
I didn't even, usually I'm able to pick up on that type of stuff, but I did not come to that conclusion. So that's interesting. Something Seaway said a couple months ago, don't ask questions you don't like the answer to, you don't want to hear the answer to. Apparently this conversation happened like the night after the wedding. She asked him, she said, well, here I am laying in bed with somebody that I would have never thought that I'd be in bed with, that I'm not, or that I've never really been attracted to. So they've had this conversation about looks and looks for the last 6 days. And now for her to bring it up again, one, I did not know that the word ginger was this huge insult, and people comparing it to racism and colorism. That struck me. I was like, what? I didn't know that. I actually thought it was kind of a nice way of saying a redhead. He's calling them a ginger. I did not think that was that bad. So apparently, I just found out yesterday that was discriminatory. But I also think the way she was, I'm not attracted to gingery features. I was like, girl, you are putting this man down, and he's really, you hurt his feelings. The way I feel like I'm not attracted to gingery features. I'm just not attracted. That's basically, she said, I don't like your face. I felt like the way she said that that's it. Oh, you hurt his feelings. Immediately, that's what I thought. Not because he's a redhead. That's what that translated. Just me seeing that. She don't like your face. Whether it's the ginger, I was like, he don't have gingery features. He's a redhead. He looks like if he had dark hair, he'd look like everybody else. But I was like, she's insulting him. And also, something Seaway said earlier is, you were trying to get her back. Now that was you trying to do a tit for tat, and now you've done it in front of other people. So just admit that you were trying to get her back. She hurt your feelings the day before, and now this is a conversation that you guys have been having all week. It was the fact that you had it in front of 5 other women, 4 of them. I think Jasmine's on the thinner side, but all of the other ladies are on the thicker side. So that was his big problem. That was what took him over the top. And now in my older age, because I'm like, if I got a problem, I'm gonna say it right now, and and so we can squash it. I think she was so hurt. She said, let me sit on this. Let me just sleep on this. And so now she's bringing it up. But I also agree that he don't know how to apologize. One, that's how he felt. He felt how he felt. So he's not going to truly, he's like, I'm really sorry that he's kind of more sorry that he hurt all the other ladies' feelings. He's not really necessarily sorry that he hurt her feelings. He didn't really care about that because she already hurt his feelings the night before. So apparently the word ginger is an insult. I had no idea, and I will take that into consideration. And these two, and also she's the type, she just don't put up with nothing, because he was trying to apologize badly, but he was trying to move past it. And she kept bringing it up, and she kept bringing it up, and she kept bringing it up. And she's like, well, now I'm done. And we need to spend the rest of the time apart. I was like, girl,
Well, he didn't,
you don't want
he didn't acknowledge what he did, though.
He didn't,
really
but he didn't acknowledge
past something that you don't acknowledge. You know what I mean? Like, for me, I can't move past anything unless you say that you were trying to hurt me, because that's what he was trying to do.
It wasn't
still
that.
doesn't
It
think
wasn't
I think you're missing something. She wasn't apologetic in what she said either, right?
No,
In
neither
fact,
one. Neither
and
one.
like we said, like, she's been talking about this gingery features and what she's not attracted to for the whole since the beginning. And then when she's not talking about that, she's talking about work. And then she even tried to justify what she's been saying to him repeatedly about his ginger features by saying, oh, well, I do ginger people's hair too, and I don't have a problem doing their hair. What has that got to do with how
That's
your
like
hair?
I have black friends.
how you hurt my feelings. What does that have to do with how you hurt my feelings?
Yeah, so she was gaslighting too, Seaway, like you was accusing him. They both, they're equal in my book.
No, they both are equal.
But
I'm
when
only
you said
responding
about
to
playing in
saying
people's
that he was
face,
trying to move forward. I'm only
They were
responding
both-
to the idea. He wasn't trying to move forward because he's playing in her face and she's playing in his face. Neither one of them are trying to move forward.
okay, so who was trying to reconcile the situation out of
Neither one. Neither
He was
one.
trying to get him to say. Now, Seaway, you are correct. She was trying to get him to say, I apologize. I should not have said that. And she was trying to get him to say that, but he was not hearing that. That's what I should have said, that I apologize to you for not saying slender, for calling her, because in his head, she said, I don't like your face. In her head, you're fat. So both of them were wrong. Both of them were wrong.
And neither one of them conceded. And neither one of them conceded. Now, if someone keeps making this point, I'm sorry, I'm missing your name, you could comment again. If we're believing that men are supposed to be the leader, then the person who was supposed to concede, if they were at the standstill, was supposed to be Clint, if that's what we're going to believe in. But if we're not going to, I don't know why you're making that face, Sean. If you're talking about men are the leader, head of household, blah, 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 if you guys are both wrong, then the man in theory should concede at some point. But I'm not saying what I believe in. I'm talking about what y'all sit around and talk about all the time.
Yeah, no, nobody ever said that. If somebody believes that they're wrong, the leader needs to concede. No, that's a backdoor way to get to not being heard. No, I mean, I don't think a man should make an effort. I think as a leader, a man shouldn't escalate, right? You shouldn't escalate, or you shouldn't, come out of character, right? But it doesn't mean that if you feel like you're right and she feels like she's right, and y'all are at a moot point, that just because you're the leader, you need to concede. No, that's not the case. You can say, we need to table this, right? We can table this and come back to it at a later time when we can have a better conversation. But conceding, no, that's not what
I think C-Perk understood what I was saying. It's not.
No, he's saying right to me, not to you.
No, I'm talking about above that statement. It's the right word is not concede, but it's like you need to guide the conversation and not stay at this standstill. And not only did he escalate it by doing the get back, when it was time to actually have the standoff, he neither guided the conversation or conceded in the traditional sense or did anything to move the conversation forward. He was just as petty as her. And I fully understand that she was wrong first. I'm addressing the comment about if men are supposed to be the leader, in theory, the way people talk about, at some point, if you guys are still at the petty meter,
we don't know what his belief system is. So I'm not going to project that onto him.
The whole leadership is in our community. It's not in their community.
Right.
To that extent.
I don't see that
theory they may not even subscribe to. That may not even be something.
I'm not talking about them personally. I'm using them as an example about how we talk about the relationships and about how him as a man not only escalated it, and I'm not saying he didn't have to. I'm not saying he wasn't right. I'm not saying he didn't have a right to get her back. But I'm talking about if you actually want a healthy relationship, all he did as a man is lead them into the pits of hell the way in their interaction.
I don't
That's
see
all
this
I'm saying.
as a man woman thing. I'm sorry. I guess that's
Yeah,
where we disagree. I hear
I
what you're
just think
saying.
it's
I think it's just two people who don't know how to resolve conflict effectively. I don't think that as a man he should
exactly.
do this, and as a woman she should do that. Right? You know, they're just two unhealthy people venting and not handling their frustrations with each other in the right way.
Hold on. Let
Odin
me pull this back for a second and talk about the real issue is this apology issue. They're both seeking for an apology from one another, which none of them are going to mean it because they both think they're right in the situation. So apology is going to be won't even matter. They both think they're right in this particular situation with what was said to one another. So y'all looking for apology back and forth, it won't matter because even if I apologize to you, like C-Way is saying, I'm the leader, I should apologize. Do you think I'm actually going to mean the apology? Is that apology going to come off sincere? I don't think so. And neither will yours.
Just to keep the peace.
Happens.
But so what do you guys think about her just walking away then? And walking away is not healthy either. Onu had his hand up. I'm sorry.
Yo,
No, but that's what she wanted to do the whole time. So that's the thing. Like, no apology would be forthcoming from her rival, and she started it. She actually started with this whole "I hate the features" thing first, and she's had no problem with repeating it over and over again to the man's face, right? So I'm not defending Clint, but I'm saying let's call it what it is. She's been on about how he looks to her well before he made the comment about, well, I usually date girls who are a bit more slender and athletic. That's what he said. He didn't call her out for being FAT. He didn't say, look, you're too big to be talking to me like that. He didn't say nothing like that. But it's been taken in that way. And let's be real, the other brides, it doesn't matter what Clint thinks because they're not with Clint. I know they're trying to support Gina in the situation, but he wasn't aiming it directly at them. It was a comment about his previous dating experience and how the person he's matched with isn't who he has previously dated in terms of the way they look. Right? So it's taken that way because she's oversensitive, but she's quite willing to keep bringing up what she doesn't like. And again, when you live in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones. If you know you're that sensitive, or maybe she doesn't know because she's never been told that before. But if you're that sensitive, don't be putting out the same stuff that's gonna hurt you, right? Like treat people how you want to be treated type thing. So she is definitely trying to get him to apologize in that instance. But is it going to further their relationship if he did? Let's be real, it's not, because he's still going to be ginger. She's still not going to like his appearance. So the apology isn't going to mean anything. It will just be a victory for her in her mind. Yeah, I got him to apologize. That's it. It's not going to go anywhere further than that.
Okay, I think we have beat the Gina and Clint discussion. Wait, Crystal. Yeah, so we just want to kind of navigate. We can navigate to another part of it and talk about, you know, her work. And do we feel like Gina talks a little bit too much about her job?
She talks way too much about her job. And to me, like, personally, like, step story. If you were going on a date, I barely know you, and all you can do is talk about your job, red flag. Like, what's going on? Like, we know more about what she does for work than what she likes in a person. And that's pretty much where we are with Gina. And it kind of explains why she's having so much difficulties when it comes to relationships, when it comes to dating, because she's always working, always talking about work. I mean, you are what you do, and that's what you do. Unless you want to change it, you're not getting new results. at least Clint is trying. He's trying to, like, he acknowledged he's trying to break her from just having just be focused so much on work, but she's just unwilling to hear or to adjust. We remember a couple episodes ago, it's like, you know what, like this morning I didn't touch my phone before breakfast. I deserve a round of applause, or I'm trying to make these little changes. I deserve a round of applause. But we're going back to the same thing. I'm not hearing the person that's taking a conscious effort into changing. I just want to do things my way, hopefully get on my plan and see how things go. That's Gina's approach to this.
Listen, I say is Gina is one heck of a promoter. She's been promoting her promo game is off the chain. Every episode, almost every other statement. Ooh, my salon, come in. She's been selling that salon. So as a businesswoman, I would commend her on that. But it's too much. It's too much. It's like every other statement. I now see who you are. You live in that salon. You have nothing else. You have nothing else outside of it. You are uninteresting. At least that's how it comes off. You are uninteresting. All you're gonna bring to the situation is the gossip that you heard in the salon today. That's it.
Any other any other Gina and Clint commentary?
No, I agree. The uninteresting that really hits home, because first I was commending her, that you're doing so much, you're a businesswoman, all of those things. But sis, it's too much. It's too much, and it does come off uninteresting, or as Clint would say, like, did you just want to come on here just to promote your business? It just really was coming off very single-minded, and I feel like he did try to get her out of that mode, and I think that she was having a good time, but she's the type that even though on the outward she's having a good time, but she's thinking about her clients and she's thinking about her staff, and she's in her head, it's still there. So that's it. That was a lot. Even I was like, what, girl, stop talking about this. So the uninteresting, that kind of hit me. I agree.
I think it's common though. Like, it's common for people to actually not be able to switch off and go into relationship mode when they finish work. And the fact that all she does is talk about work or talk about his features or lack thereof, like, that means she's not really taking the time to get to know him and find out other things and actually try and advance the relationship, right? Her default is, okay, if I'm not talking about Ginger, then I'm going to talk about work. And if I'm not talking about work, let me talk about how he looks. Like, surely, like, if he doesn't say something, because he's already insulted, right? We understand that. So, like, it's a matter of time before it boils over. Like, it's not going to work if it keeps going on, going down that path. And as we've seen, she leaves anyway, right? She takes her ball and runs with it. So.
What's this, Trey? You said the men's powwow versus the women's powwow?
Yeah, it was interesting when they did this back and forth between the group settings and what they were talking about. On one side, it seemed like, well, at least on the women, they were still geared up from what Clint had. They were all getting their pitchforks and torches ready. They was ready to ride up on them real quick. Yet on the men's side, I found it very interesting that at least they were trying to talk about, okay, what's really going on with us? How we really feeling? That's when you got with Arris, like, okay, yeah, I'm like a four with her right now. You got some real stuff. That's when Shaq finally stepped, was like, yeah, I'm sensing some stuff from Chris, and it ain't cool, and they were boosting him up, and you saw his backbone forming a little bit. He's like, okay. And then Matt jumped off the cliff for Gina. Of all people, he just jumped off the cliff. I was like, bro, I understand you trying to show support, but
I heard that too.
I was like,
Listen.
he was the only one. All the rest of the dudes kind of looked at him. Like, all right.
Because even Clint said,
like,
what,
do you
you
want
gonna
her?
leave me on the island by myself here, buddy? Like he
Hey,
said that, right? Because Mac was
yeah.
like, man, I would bag Gina. Gina's
Yeah.
nice. Gina's fine.
Yeah,
You know?
he likes her. He likes her. Clint was like, bro, you want her? I mean, we could switch. Cause your woman don't like your personality anyways.
Well, that might have something to do with some of the clips we've seen for future episodes, right?
Yeah. About to get messy.
All right. Anything else on Clint and Gina? Are we done with them?
Just the women empowerment section, like Trey was saying, the powwow against the men's powwow. The women just took this time. I just want to celebrate you. You're gorgeous. You're like just stop doing that. Like, you know, you don't have to do that. She knows that that's what hurt her feelings, that you said that in front of everybody. That was it.
Hey, yo, we didn't talk about Dom and Matt.
Yeah, that's where I was going next. Dom and McKinley or McKinsey. What is his name?
McKinley.
Oh, there we go. Our fearless leader, McKinley.
Yeah, McKinley. She don't find him funny, which is kind of funny.
Listen, I mean, contrary to popular belief, I think, you know, a lot of these couples are doing too much talking, and I think that's the same thing with Dom and McKinley. I don't know. It's just, I don't know if the chemistry is not there, so they're talking too much, and then they're talking themselves out of anything romantic, and then they just are aggravating each other and getting on each other's nerves like roommates. It's like college roommates over here. So those are my thoughts. Who wants to dive into their thoughts around Dom and Mac's connection?
I'll say this. Listen, Dom, even though I saw the joke Matt was trying to make, I did see Dom's point. Did catch himself in a lie. Like, well, why are you capping? You don't want to do any of this stuff. But he talking about, yeah, I rode horses. You know, like, yeah, like, and then when it came time to do it, you looking, oh no, like, you know, it was okay. And then the good joke, he got no, he got it was bad. I was like, oh wow, but yeah, they're just not gonna. It's just not gonna work. You know, his sense of humor, even though I get some of it, it seems like he's too. Yeah, he's unsure of himself. He's completely unsure of himself, especially when she's around, and she's just so young. I think that's what's throwing me off with her. She's just too young, you know, and she's trying to talk like she's grown and, ooh, this is what I would be. And I'm like, nah, you just young. Yeah. So somebody said no gain, no death. That's Mac. Just no gain, no death. He's just vanilla. And that's fine. So like vanilla, you know. Put a little sprinkle on those. He might like it. Something. He's not a bad dude. I don't think he's a bad dude, but he's just blah. Is that better? He's blah. You know, he's the most interesting he got for me. The most interesting he got for me when he jumped off the cliff for Gina. I think that was funny to me. That was hilarious. It was weird. I was like, bro, what do you? He just jumped out there. I was like, wow. Okay. All right. You defend her. Go ahead. It was weird. It was just so weird. Time he had or something like, oh, I think she's beautiful. You should have said that to her. I was like, okay. All right. It was funny. I was like, wow, okay. Mm.
So what y'all think about Mac's corny dad jokes? The ladies, let's ask Seaway. What do you think? Would that annoy you? Does he agitate you, or would you be okay with it?
I don't really have an opinion about his jokes.
What's going on with you? Do you have an opinion about them at all as a couple?
I don't know.
Oh
Not
my
not really.
I see you choosing violence with your banner there, Gina Abadi. Stop the cap. Okay. I see who you stand for. Crystal, what do you think about Mac's dad jokes?
I actually agree with you. I don't have any opinion about his dad jokes. I think he's just being corny, and I think it was Jr. that said it earlier when you are nervous. I said this a couple weeks ago. He has a self-esteem issue, and then you're already nervous. You're trying to get this woman to like you. Jr. was like, you're trying to get somebody to like you. You go to the jokes, and I think that's what it is. I do think the complaining thing is what I want to tackle, where she kept saying, because watching the after show, she was talking to Keisha Knight Pulliam, and she said the way he complains is it's one thing to say, you know, I've never done this before, or yeah, let's do this, but the way he did it was making her feel bad for wanting to do it. I'll do it. I'll do it because we're here and you want me to do it, but I really don't want to do it. So that's annoying. Like, if you don't want to do something, don't put it on me. And then now I don't want to do it. And you make me feel like I'm forcing you. So I am seeing her point in that. And she said he did it a lot. He did it a lot where he's like, well, I really don't want to do it. I'll only do it because you want to do it. And don't do that. Now I'll have my separate excursion and you go yours, and we'll have separate vacations. Like, why are you putting it on her to make, to make you do something? And she said that's how he kept doing that. He did that like 3 or 4 times, and that's what was really getting on her nerves. But I also agree, if you've never been on a horse before, just say you've never been on a horse before. You need to pull a Vincent, and Vincent actually, he complained a little bit, but he complained much less. Said, I've never been on a horse before, I'm very nervous, and he looked like he was nervous. Don't be like, oh yeah, I've done horses all my life, and then you get on there and you don't know what to do. That literally was a guided horse through the water in a circle. It was not that bad, but you just you gave her the impression that you've done this, that, and the other, and you haven't. Don't do that, because that's going to smack you in the face later. But I do still think that she's young acting. I think that this was a little bit of a maturity that we saw in her, about the complaining thing. Don't complain at me and make me look like I'm forcing you to do something. But yeah, I'd like for you to just get out of your box, get out of your shell, but don't put it not at my expense. So I didn't like that. That was funny, because him saying, oh yeah, she's the baddie, your wife is gorgeous. I don't think he meant it. I think he was just trying to say, this is what you tell your wife. Tell her she's gorgeous. Tell her she's beautiful. But it came off like, oh no, your wife is amazing. I don't think that he could get anybody better than her. I was like, okay, Mac, what's going on here? Mac was actually coming out of his shell. So that was super funny. Yeah. Other than that, something's about to happen. The producers been messing with us. We all thought that this kiss between the ginger and the young acting girl was going to come this episode, and it didn't. So, but I guess it is going to show. Or did they just put this in the previews just to entice us? I don't know. So I thought that was interesting too. That's it for now.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think he was caping big time for Gina, but I think clearly based on if we look at how Mac's mama treats him, you know, offering him the $50,000 to not do the maths process. He's used to being taken care of women. So he probably, you know, Gina and all her salon talk and her commercial mortgages and everything she got going on sounds appealing, because it looks like in the next episodes coming down the pike, his living situation, you know, he's a little, you know, embarrassed by what it looks like. So yeah, I think Mac has a lot to be desired, and I think this whole kiss that they've been teasing out with Gina and Clint, they're gonna make us wait a little bit for that before we really see the true context of whatever transpired there.
Great point. Great.
All right, who's next on Dom and Mac? JR, Trey.
Yeah, I'll just say, like, I definitely think he tried to lead with jokes. He may not be comfortable, fully comfortable with the process, and you know, it's still early, like, but I think a touching moment for me personally was when they went for that little stroll. They went for the little walk and carved the name in the plant or whatever that was. And then he apologized for the jokes and things like that, and you know, didn't mean to you know, come across as just a jokester or whatever. And you know, he that was a good way to kind of solidify or show his interest in wanting to make the situation work with her, the relationship work with her, and she was receptive to it. So that's a good sign. So, but I have no idea what's going to happen going forward, as most of us don't. But I think the way he jumped in on Clint about the Gina situation, that was very alarming. I'll tell you why, because it gave me the vibes that he's secretly watching Gina too much. All right. For him to jump in that quickly, like it was like, as you know, as soon as Clint sat down with them and they were talking, it was like the first thing that Clint said, the response was, well, I think Gina's fine. And then he even said in his confessional, yeah, like Clint couldn't pull a girl like that in real life. Like he couldn't. So that to me is like, raw, you're kind of hating on him and you're kind of watching his girl too hard. And is that because you're not really feeling the relationship that you have with Dominique? Because you know, it may be a culture shock to him or whatever. And she's also, like you said, Trey, she's still 25. So, but yeah, it's looking a bit iffy for them, in my opinion. Good vibes so far, but I'm not sure how far that's going to take them.
Trey, are you good? Trey looks frozen. Trey might be in the Matrix over there.
Yeah, I'm.
You crackling, bro. You want to try to come out and come back in?
Yeah.
All right, we got you. So
right.
what do y'all? I know at a certain point Gina was not. I'm sorry. Dom was talking about their chemistry or lack thereof, and some of the things they're doing. Do you think that she's interested or attracted in him like that? Or do you think he's interested or attracted to her like that? Like, what do you think? I know they had that pool scene, but we haven't really seen much at all with them from a physical aspect. So anybody's thoughts on that?
Can you be attracted and not attracted to the same person at the same time? Because that's just how this couple's coming off. Like, I mean, Mac has nervous energy, but you know, he likes being around her, likes what he sees, and he acknowledges he's an introvert. He's trying to break out of his so-called shell. And I guess I hear the complaining part where it's like, you know what, he's only doing things because he wants to be a different person or to appease her, which I think is the main thing. And the way it's coming off is not that way. Whereas I think Dom is looking for someone that displays a lot more masculine energy, and like you get a lot of feminine energy coming from Mac. Like I don't know who's leading, and even with that last conversation, it just seems like Dominique is leading the whole relationship or whole conversations when it comes to what's going wrong. Which again, the dynamic just doesn't seem genuine or unique in my opinion. But I don't know. I mean, there's things they like about each other, but at the same time, I'm not sure if they're like romantically or they have like sexual a romantic interest continually. If that makes any sense. They'll be great friends, but like I don't see like, hey, this guy really is feeling for this person. We made this comment about how he's checking, how Mac was checking for Gina. Like he said all those compliment things about that girl, and I haven't heard him say anything about Dominique. And it's not, and the thing is, it's like it'll be one thing if he was into Black women or wanted to be in Black women. It's just like I'm not getting that type of energy. Like, hey, you know what? Like this is exotic fruit. I'm trying to see what it's about. It's just like let's just see where this goes. I'm not going to do anything stupid type of energy. It's that nervous, it's almost nervous as energy, but at the same time, it's like it's not his cup. He wants Starbucks. You're giving him Tim Hortons. Like he's going to go back to Starbucks.
Okay. Anybody else? Or is there chemistry between Dom and Mac?
Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, I think I would rate the chemistry as average. Why? Because they haven't been throwing shade on each other like some of the other couples have, and they haven't expressed a specific dislike to anything specific, right? So I don't see them like, heart eye emojis for each other, googling over each other, like googly eyed and all that. I don't see that at all. But I just see two people who are still open to trying to find a connection. That's as far as I see that.
Dom's energy is I'm willing to try, and what's his name? Mac's energy is I'm attracted to my wife. I'm attracted to the never mind.
Gina.
What's her name? Gina. I was gonna say something else, but yeah, he's attracted. He wants to have sex with his wife. She is. I'm willing to try, but this ain't gonna work, Mama. Why'd you sign me up for this thing?
Their personalities don't mesh. That's the big issue here. Their personalities, I think they find each other attractive, but their personalities just don't. Male and female connection is not possible here. It's just not.
So this came up, and I don't know if Seaway is still out there, but she used this. I forget what we were talking about when it comes to attraction, but one of the comments somebody said that because of his talking, this Sandria said it right. If he talked less, she would like him more. So is that true that men can talk themselves out of a situation and attraction with a woman?
Of course. But how many non-suave white people understand that? That's the key thing. Like, boy, Mac is in waters he doesn't know what he's doing. And like, I don't know how to classify this situation. This is a Black girl who doesn't act like a Black girl, but it's a Black girl. Like, I don't know what to do in this situation or how to help him. Especially if he doesn't like Black girls. Like, I don't know how to do it.
He's confused. She's confused. They're both confused with each other. Don't know what to say. And we all know men, we will talk ourselves out of a situation, especially if we're nervous or not sure what to say. you just start bad and saying the wrong things. Yeah, he has no other recourse. He's just talking. He's just talking. He don't know what to do. And she just sometimes I look at his face and I see in her face, should I respond to this like a black man or should I respond to this like a white man? I see it sometimes. There's times when she want to get super spicy. You can see it. She ready to pop off. Like it almost happened with the Clint statement. She was like, ugh. She was ready to go. But then the white girl come out. Oh my God, I was so offended. Like, well, no, what's going on? Like, she's confused. She's still learning herself. Trying to figure out who she is. So it prefaces the way she responds to him. Like she got a little spicy with him when she told him he really wasn't that funny. Your jokes ain't joking, bro. Your jokes ain't joking. That's how she was looking. Like, nah, and you saw his face, he was like, oh, and then tried to give that half behind apology for it. An apology that I felt like he didn't understand why he was giving the apology. He was trying to figure out the words to say, and he was stumbling on the words. Like, you know, I know sometimes I joke and I may come off like I don't understand, but you know, I it's because I'm nervous. And then she immediately interrupted his apology to get what she had to say off. No, I said this, because you was doing this and this, and he was like, that's that black side that was coming out. You're like, rage in the machine. She was ready to go, and then she pulled it back. But it's okay, like confusement. So as a black man, I'm looking at this white man. I can see like, oh, I see where you might be a little unsure of yourself. You don't know what to say to this woman, because God's honest truth, this woman doesn't know what she wants to be said to her because she doesn't know herself. Like, and that's a whole nother issue for her. I guess that's the reason why we keep saying she's just so young. She's mixed race woman. She's very young. She's still discovering herself. She rather be out there on Girls Going Wild 52, whatever, Jamaican edition. That's the vibe she gives when I see her at times. She's a party.
We're gonna have to mute you because you just going off the rails.
I'll mute myself.
You came back with that strong Wi-Fi and you are just shooting shots everywhere. Not Girls Going Wild. 52. Oh gosh. Can we all just get along, Trey? Can we just get along?
It's all love.
All right. Kojo, you came back to make sure your channel wasn't falling to shambles here?
No. So I trust you guys. I trust you guys are safe. You know what I mean? I trust you guys are safe. But yeah, I don't have much to say about Dom and McKinley apart from the fact that I think she interrupted the apology, and I thought to myself, I said she got a good amount of assertive energy, which may just overrun this poor boy. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that if you wanna, if that's you. But in this particular relationship with him, she gonna run him into the ground, right? And he gonna get run hard. Cause like he really was apologizing and he was giving a good apology, man was telling her what he's sorry for, She's like, I just don't do it. I just don't do excuses. Oh, if that's what we don't do, then I need you to back the frick off me. Because, like, yo, whilst I'm apologizing, I'm telling you what I'm sorry for. You don't get to tell me I just don't do apologies. Next thing you're gonna say to me next time is just do better. It's like, no. I'm not your kid, okay? That's not how you're not gonna parent me. I'm trying to show you that I'm sorry for what I've done and show that I'm changing my behavior. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That little energy there, very interesting. So yeah, I think he maybe moans a bit too much. I can understand that. And she made a fair point. If he's moaning all the time and makes her not want to do the activity. So I agree that nobody wants to be in a space where someone's got negative energy. So yeah, that one absolutely not a problem at all. And I agree with her on that one. You have to chill on the negative energy. But oh girl, when I saw that energy coming from her lips, I said, yeah, she gonna run that boy into the ground.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Coach. I think it's you have to balance it out, right? Because we did note that Mac did try things, right? He was more willing to, do some of the excursions and things that she wanted to do. But he's one of those people, he's going to complain first and then do it later, And I used to be like that until one of my friends told me, Sean, you just complain too much, bro. Jesus. And I had to take a step back and look at myself, and I'm like, wow. Because when sometimes you hear yourself and then somebody and I'm like, oh yeah, I am complaining a lot. And I try to be, I would try to be more conscious of it, but I still would do it. I was one of those people, like, I'm just gonna complain my way through it. And then I had to learn, like, that complaining stuff, it's like, first of all, it's like you kind of bring down the room. So you just kind of have to check yourself, right? Especially if you're going to go ahead and do it anyway. If you're going to do it anyway, then why are you complaining? Just, shut up and get it done. So that I can get her on that. What I would say is that, and I think, again, I hate that we have to harp on her age so much, but I think it does play a role, is she's not really, like, a guy like Mac, especially a guy like him, needs a little bit more reassurance. And I don't see her giving any compliments where, we see Jasmine is overly complimentary, very nice, very accommodating, where Dom is kind of cut and dry. And then she's like, yeah, I'm about to go talk to my mama. We're going to FaceTime for a while. That sounds like a 2-hour conversation on my honeymoon. So, yeah, I think Dom could, bend and flex a little bit, while sharing how she feels about him, but giving him some compliments, right, too, and telling him what she appreciates about him. So those are my thoughts.
Last couple.
Yes. Chris and Nicole.
Well, I always feel like she about to bench press or something. I'd be scared for myself. I don't know. Y'all was thinking it. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Y'all was thinking it. She's about to
Hey, behave.
Can make it, but am I complex with him?
Trey, you're in the Matrix again.
Okay. Well, let me jump on while Trey is occupied fixing these technical difficulties. Yeah, like when they were in the kayak or canoe or whatever that was, you could definitely tell he was powering the boat, right? And I'll say that these two, I like the fact that they're working each other out. They're having conversations, but they're also very complimentary, and they're also very receptive to what they're sharing, right? Again, I don't think they need to rush. I don't think they need to rush into intimacy or anything like that, but I think it will take place with this couple. And on Chris's side, I detect that he's very emotional. Like, this guy will break down and cry. And I'm not sure how that's going to bode well for Nicole, who seems like a strong personality. She seems ready to run her gums at any given time, right? So I hope the dynamic kind of stays on course, because I think out of all the couples, this is the one that I probably see the most hope for. And if they do get it on track, then fair play to them. But it's a difficult process. I'll give them that. And like I said, for me, they're having the right kind of conversations. They're talking about previous stuff, but they're not dwelling on it. They're just using it to enlighten the person as to why they are the way they are. And the other person is not beating them over the head with what they're being told. So that's pretty cool to watch.
Ronnie.
Like, I mean, over the past couple seasons, like, especially when it comes to men contestants, there's like a key thing. They're trying to find guys who are not prepared for the process or how to manage these type of relationships. And from what I see from Chris, like, he's ready for the moment. I agree everything what JR has to say. He's leading the right conversations. He's creating a safe space for Nicole to be herself, to not be vulnerable, but also kind of grow out of her traumas. My main issue about what this week with Nicole is, so far Chris has been pretty much the type of guy that you should have been with your entire life, and it's kind of making you're kind of like I won't say nervous, but you don't know how to proceed or what to say, and you're kind of tripping him up to say the I love you part to the whole situation. And again, it's understand the process. It's been a week and you're not allowing him to lead. It's like she wants to get what she wants, that confirmation before she goes to her true self versus just being in the moment. And that's my main issue with Nicole. There's nothing Chris has done for you not to trust him. He's leading the relationship in a particular way. You're trying to go off in your own angle, and this is the second episode where it's like every single conversation we see is like, do you love me yet? Do you love me? Love me yet? And again, if Chris goes ahead and says something that he doesn't mean, he's going to be the villain. The fact that he's stepping up and not saying that or saying no, it's a true time to say like, hey, he's comfortable in himself. He's not going to be this person on is what you want. What happens when you get the type of person you've always dealt in the past, or the type of person that you committed to and didn't get the type of outcomes? What are you going to do exactly then? That's my main issue. That I'm trying to get away from her, because again, if the experts give anyone the person they wanted, it was her, and you're about to blow it.
Yeah, this is the only couple I think is going to at least say yes on decision day. They're the most solid as far as communication. I like the fact that they're communicating in like everyday situations, like they're kayaking, but they're talking about when we get back and laundry and stuff like that. They're talking about like, how are we going to live together? So I do like that. I think that I hope, what's her name? Nicole, that she's actually seeing that other way, me jumping into bed, me the full Italian self. Maybe I need to pull that back, and maybe he is the person that I need to really get with and really try. So she's trying something new with him, and he's really trying to be intentional and really trying to make this work. I am afraid about the warning. I think, like Onu said, she might blow this, because next week you can't corner a guy that who's showing all signs of being just a slow mover and really wanting to make this work, and don't corner him and say, do you love me? So I really want to know how that conversation actually goes, because if he says no, I don't love you, I really appreciate that he's honest with her. But this full-blown Italian that she keeps warning us about, if that comes out, he's already said, we all know he's not going to be good with that other personality that she has shown. So, and that she's trying to do better at. So it's going to be very interesting. I agree with Onu that they've put her with somebody she should be with, that she's never been with, and that she's not too used to being with, and she may not know how to navigate that. And Yeah, I wonder why he's crying. Yeah, the crying is going to be very interesting next week. But they seem to be listening to each other, so hopefully that's it. You're out of the mute, Chicken. Are
Now,
you still?
are we gonna talk about how he said he don't want to have the intimate relationships because he's scared if it's not good, it's gonna ruin things. And I done told y'all that I'm telling you, he's doing a lot of talking, but his confidence is lacking. And who says that? Who says that? Somebody that really don't want it. That to me is the equivalent of Kirsten talking about I'm a bad kisser. Cause you just playing at this point. Cause come on now. Now look, we being honest, right? We all talk candidly. Just, are there moments where any of us have probably felt a little like, ooh, is this gonna go? Maybe it's been a little while. He mentioned he's, had taken some time out of the game. But bro, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. You just setting yourself up for nothing to go well, or either for it to nothing to happen at all, because that's where you don't underpromise and overdeliver. You just need to say less. I think Chris and Nicole need to focus on saying less, because trust, she's going along to get along, but if he was ready to go to Pound Town, she'd be right there with him.
But let's assume they go to Pound Town right now. She's still hitting, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? What do you think is going to happen on the pillow after he breaks her back out or tries to break her back out? He's going to be back at, all the progress they made are going to go right back to square one. And then now it's like you either say I'm attracted to you sexually, but not at a personal level, or you start lying. And I don't know, that's where you want to end up with, if I'm Chris.
Not
Personally,
using Arris's terminology, Ono. You dipping your toe in the toxic lane today?
I'm like, my only advice to Chris is until you tell this woman you love her, don't break her back out. That's all I'm going to say.
The way Chris
Exactly,
talking,
because
I don't think
the
she gotta
fallout,
worry
the
about
fallout
nothing
from
being
them,
broken. She's gonna
the
be
fallout
holding
from them
back.
going to bed with each other at this time could be, it could have strong consequences, right? Right now, she's been vulnerable about previous relationships, so it's not the real time. It's not the right time to be intimate, but yet she's thrown it out there. Like, are we gonna have to go to bed this weekend? Are we gonna have sex now? Like, she said that a couple of times. And like I said previously, I think it's a defense mechanism for when she feels like she's getting too deep, she's too vulnerable. Now we can do something to take her mind off of what it was that she went through. Right? It's like a coping mechanism. So that's what I see from that. But I don't think he's ready to do that. He's had a year out of the game. From what he said, he hasn't, had any sexual antics with it in a year before the show. So the pressure to perform is going to be immense. So I think they need to learn each other, and not just through conversations, but they need to learn each other's buttons to push in terms of the romance or the intimacy and things like that. And then, nature will take its course. It will gradually get there if it's meant to be. But I don't think he should do an Arris where he's constantly down with dogs and put your booty up in the air, let me see it, and feed me lobster. I don't think he needs to do that. It doesn't seem like that type of guy. At the same time, he's not saying things to make it any way visible that he's not attracted to her. So yeah, if it's meant to be, it will be. No rush.
Is he the same? This is the same guy that said that his ex, they were together for what, a year and a half or 2 years? They were for a substantial amount of time. They only had sex with three. This one, another woman that didn't like his face, didn't want him to touch, didn't want her to touch him 3 times. And
Exactly. So confidence could be a real big thing for him because of that.
right.
Yeah, he's not even sure he could bend her back and break it. I get a sense that he he did say that he was emasculated in his previous relationship. I think he got seriously broken mentally, sexually, not being wanted. He was saying all the cold words, not being wanted stuff. I'm like, yo, this dude, yeah, he has no confidence whatsoever. He's been trying to pick up. Now he's like literally afraid. Okay, this seems to be going well. I think he wants to perform. He's not sure that he can, and it's getting his head. So yeah, yeah. He's putting it on the pedestal. He needs to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I believe in a healthy balance, like we can't, do all this talking and no doing. So I think they need to find a middle ground, you know. That's my thought, but I lean towards the toxic in anyway. So, but I think they're doing way too much talking, and it's just gonna ruin it. Sometimes you just need to either do it or just do an activity. Maybe they need to take a page out of Dom's book and go find an activity to do. Because sitting around swinging in a hammock talking about how you might be bad at sex, how you was in a relationship for over a year and a half and you only had sex 3 times, like this is too much like in a band camp and then me, and then we're like matching how bad and toxic situations we had in the past. I need them to do something because it's getting to be too much for me. That's my thought.
There's nothing attractive about admitting that your sex game is weak. Just gonna be honest with you. I'm not saying that you have to lie or anything, but I'm just saying you have to lie. Do you know what I mean? It's nah. But in all honesty, they are taking it slow. So, they are taking it slow. They are trying to make it work, and I appreciate that. I think that's why they probably have the best chance of making it through. I think they both have insecurities, and I think they're both willing to be emotionally vulnerable to one another. So in that case, it doesn't really matter. Now, of course, him sharing the fact that a whole year, you had sex with your girlfriend 3 times is concerning for me. It's concerning because it's telling me testosterone levels are on the low. Okay, because you're a man. Okay, even if the relationship is bad, you still want some neck and neck, nook. You know what I'm saying? There's too much attachment of his sex to emotions. I'm just gonna be honest with you from a male perspective. Like he's acting like he's the woman. Like when women tell you like I have to feel it to want to be in it. Okay. Okay, but I'm not gonna have to feel it to be in it. Once I'm hot, I'm hot. I'm ready to go. So the fact that he has to feel it to be in it is telling me something. You know what I mean? That's not normally how we behave. Do you know what I'm saying? As gentlemen. Now, of course, there are different types of men, but in reality, a lot of us men, you have a girl, even if it's going wrong, you're still gonna want to dibble dab. Okay, we call it a toxic poissoir, and we love a little toxic poissoir when you're in it. Do you understand? So the fact that he didn't swim in those waters is concerning for me. Okay, for about a year and a bit and had sex 3 times, and I'm sure Nicole was concerned too. And then obviously to say, in this relationship, of course, I think it's the right thing to do. Not rush into sex. Take your time. Get to know the person. I think it's the absolute right thing to do. Going forward and stuff. But then obviously, he said he's a little bit nervous about the fact that he's performance-wise. So, I don't know. It sounds like the ladies were right about the performance issues. But when you go a whole year and a bit and no sex, it's giving Ryan. It's giving Ryan from him and old girl. Blonde hair girl. Let's give it that again, all over again. So, yeah, it's a bit techie. That's what I would say. A bit techie.
Come on, y'all all swooning. They always pick one couple to swoon over, right? So now, if y'all gonna be real, if a guy said that to you, ladies well, only one woman now on the panel, and ladies in the comments, is that going to be, is that going to make you, oh, let's continue to talk and see how the relationship is going? If he gives you that energy, you gonna stick it in? You gonna stick in there? Just put a yes or a no in the comments, please. And Crystal, share with us.
No.
Come on.
I would not. I really want to know why. And I don't understand. He's talked about this woman before that just hated him, and she didn't want him to touch her. My thing is, why'd you stay for a year and a half? That makes no sense to me. And not only did you, this woman not like you, not like your face, all of that, but then you're not having sex with her. Something's up. And as a man, you're not picking that up. So why didn't you move on? Yeah, it's no. I'm not just. I want to know what. Nope. Not doing that.
Yeah, and I hear you on that, Crystal. Like, the thing is, in some cases, that dislike may not have been instant, right? It may not have happened at the beginning. It may have been happening gradually as the relationship progressed. For it to last a year and a half, there must have been some good points, or there must have been something that was keeping them together. But listen, when harsh words are used, they can cut like a razor, and it will be very hard to reel back in from those comments. And when the person hears those things, they can definitely it can get inside their head, or affect the way they view themselves, right? So yeah, let's hope
So
that
point.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well,
No,
sit
go
on the
ahead.
bench and heal. Like what? So now you jump into a marriage, as
Yeah, well, that's the
you
thing,
have self-esteem issues
right? I agree with you, right? But he hasn't done an Arris. He hasn't done something where he just jumped out of something 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks. He's been out for a year, right? So if he's been out for a year, and that's, by most people's estimation, that should be a sufficient amount of time before you get into your next relationship. Some people 3 months is too much, but a year is a long time. So he's either he's probably very damaged by it, or this is his literally his first venture back out into a relationship, and he's now married. So yeah, it seems like a very traumatic experience, or something that's quite heavy on him. And like we said, Nicole has shared her stuff as well. So I wouldn't say trauma bonding at all, but what I would say is they're both sharing and quite vulnerable with what they've been through before, and that could be something that is endearing them to each other, going a long way.
That is true, that they've both been telling about their both past relationships. And our boy Feel Good, he even said somebody has been emasculating him about his sex game. Maybe pulling what's her name with Tree, and how she just kept just beating it down about how horrible he was in bed. And so he stopped trying. It was not good. And so now Justin or Tree. Yeah. So now he's just been so beat down by it. And I do think that's a sufficient amount of time. And now getting back in it, you're with a woman that's been mentioning sex every 2 days. How are you're going to have to figure that out. Yeah, they are definitely trauma bonding, and maybe as Sean said, the time for talk is over. Just yeah.
You never know if they do get together and knock the boots, right? It could be a huge release for both of them. If we look at it like that, if you think they're trauma bonding, if they're able to come together and consummate the marriage, that might take a huge weight off their shoulders. And no more talking about exes from that point. It's all about each other from there.
I totally agree with you, JR. I think it's like they're setting the clock back, and on the first time might not be that great. Okay, do it again. They need to just go for it and do it, and because every other instance they're getting along. So yeah, but I think that
what does Aaliyah say? If at first you don't succeed,
Yeah.
break yourself off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again.
Or jumping off the dresser.
Yes, yes, yes. Any other final remarks? Because I think our fearless leader, we're a little over the 3-hour mark.
I think we covered it.
That's it.
Okay.
Well then, Sean, do what you do best, bro.
All right. Well, we had quite a time tonight, you know. Kojo let the inmates run the asylum for a little bit, so we appreciate you for letting us run a little roughshod while you contended with some of the obligations, shall we say. But we had a good time tonight. We chopped it up. I think we're seeing this season start to heat up, and we're seeing some of the couples just ain't gonna make it. Looks like a lot of ain't no ways around these parts. So, you know, first couple we talked about was, you know, we really dove into Kirsten and Shaq, and it's, you know, let's just be honest. Can we be honest with each other, right? And it's okay if you don't like me, but if you don't want me, then don't talk to me, you know, but don't break me down. You know, don't break me down. Kirsten, you're breaking the brother down. He's throwing up Hail Marys like, when is my time? It's never, Shaq. Unfortunately, it's never. And so you win some and you lose some, and you just lost that one. Then we have Gina and Clint. Like, you gotta be prepared. You know, if you open up Pandora's box, be prepared for Pandora to Pandora, because this is what happened, right? And unfortunately, Gina bought a knife to a gunfight, and Clint was prepared. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, be prepared. Don't start something that you're not prepared to finish. Don't talk about nobody if you're not prepared for them to come back at you, because it can really go left. However, we had Seaway talk to us, and yes, we should be better. We should not tear each other down, especially in relationships, especially, you know, with people that we are trying to grow to love. So let's not tear people down with our words, but listen, sometimes you're going to get this work when you don't work my nerves a little bit. That's just how it be sometimes. And then we talk about Arris and Jasmine. Poor Jasmine. We feel for her. But Jasmine, we just need you to take, you know, 1 step forward and 2 steps back. You know, take 2 steps back. You know, seems like you're seeing the light when it comes to our brother, because he's a little tricky. We don't know. But I think, you know, he's not fit for the picture. So leave him be. Arris, it's all right to not be attracted, but, you know, don't make up excuses. Be respectful. It's your wife. You know, have a little bit of restraint, you know, and please, you know, just because you don't want her, somebody else will. So don't run her into the ground for the next man, because listen, some of us out here might like a Jasmine, and we don't want her all ran up and done up by the time she gets to us. So please, last but not least, Kristen Nicole, pace yourself. Communication is great. Talking is great. Sometimes there's too much of a good thing. So let's just fall back on the talking. Let's do some other things. Let's have some balance. Back to you, Coach.
Appreciate that, Sean. Thank you for taking over while I was away as well. Appreciate that. Much appreciation. But listen, guys, we are, you know, listen, we out here, baby. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys like this live. There was over 500 of you guys that came through. Make sure you guys are liking this live as well. We really appreciate it. Make sure you comment. Leave a comment down below in the comment section as well. Share this live with someone else who loves Married at First Sight. Put it in the blog spaces. Put it in the Reddits as well. Like, share this live with somebody, man. They need to know that we do great work on this side of the town. Good, healthy dialogue as well. We'll be back here on Saturday night with Ready to Love, and talking about the latest episode as well. I still need to squeeze in Sisters, so I need to do it this week. So, because I didn't do it tonight because my body's doing well, woo. But we're gonna do it. So either I'll do it tomorrow or do it Saturday. I'll probably do it tomorrow because I'm not doing anything. But yeah, listen, we appreciate you guys, honestly, and we've enjoyed as well. My panelists, JR, Onu, Crystal, Sean, and Seaway and Trey, much appreciation. Thank you for coming through. We can't wait to do this again on Saturday night. It should be a good vibe, I can tell. And we're going to enjoy ourselves once more. Again, you guys are putting out great content as well. So, yeah, honestly, guys, we'll see you again very, very soon. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Okay, all right. And we'll see you very, very soon. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something, okay? I'm leaving here with something. You know, let me leave you with that little something before we get out of here and you know, do our thing. But hold on, I don't think I have the clip, guys. Sorry, I think I've lost the clip. I just want to play it for you guys. All right, cool. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked. Stay later. We'll see you again very, very soon. Much love and appreciation. Level Black.